everyone. It's great to see you. I want to welcome our special guest tonight, who has his own channel, which is linked in the description. Propagate This Light. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. We also have Jeff Zanzibar with us. How are you?
Doing good. And hi to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, leave it to our chat to derail me right when the intro was going on. John Nada says, did you know San Jose was founded in 1777? Like Philly era, you know, the Constitution, 1776. I didn't, but I do know that Philadelphia was founded probably, I don't know, like 16 something. So they had about 100 years to get to California, but I didn't know that. That's crazy. And Teresa's here. Hey, Teresa. I think we're going to see names that we don't normally see because it's so early. So thank you, Prop, for coming early tonight. We appreciate it.
All good. All good. I sent you a message in the private chat, and thank you for having me on. And big peace out to everybody in the chat. It's good to be on the panel once again. It's been a minute. Here I am.
That's awesome. I love all the StreamYard issues we have all the time. There we go. Is that better? There we go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So really quickly, I'm going to do a quick shout out. Let's see. We have Twilight Nights in the chat. John Nada, who's here. I haven't seen John Nada in a while. It's very good to see you. We also have Splatter 420, so Thea Green. Teresa Lynch in the chat. It's been a long time since we've seen you too, so that's good that you're here. We also have Boston Rain Mudflood Adventures, who has a show tonight as well. Good to see you, Ray. We also have, of course, Jeff as JC Goof and Mamacita. Let's see. Angels Don't Fall just jumped in. And Propagate's in the chat. Which I'll give you a wrench on this channel too. Just give me 1 second. There we go. All fixed. So guys, oh hey Saddlebomb, welcome. So for those of you who've never seen this format, we usually do this with Brian MacFarlane, but he's been busy lately with his kids, so we're doing it on my channel. Hey Bellador, good to see you. What we do is with the community spotlights, we do a few interview questions, and if you have questions, please put them in the chat, and we'll ask the questions at the end of the interview, and then afterwards we'll talk about some Mandela effects. Sound good? You guys ready?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I am pulling up the interview question because I'm going to go first. The first interview question we have for Propagate tonight is, when did you first become aware of the Mandela effect?
Okay. So when I first became aware, I've heard about it on YouTube. I'm not exactly sure what channel. I was just scrolling around, and I just came across a channel that was talking about it.
That's the same way I think a lot of us found out about it. I found out about it from Shane Dawson, of all people, which is not a great source to find out about the Mandela effect. Jeff, you ready for number 2?
Yep. All right. Why did you decide to start speaking publicly about the Mandela effect related topics?
Because I was forced to. I'm just joking. Yeah. So why did I become? Because I became an experiencer, maybe like a 3-time personal experiencer, and I was watching channels like around that time. I seen channels like Life Matrix. I don't know if y'all heard of Life Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was listening to his channel. Okay. Yeah. And he said on one upload that yeah, maybe we should connect. He was talking to his audience. Anybody's into the Mandela effect, I have experiences, we should all connect and just come together or whatever. So I decided to reach out to him so I could speak on his channel with him about it. Yeah.
And that's how I got on your show, and I appreciate that. For those who don't know, that's where I first started doing streams, was Propagate's channel. I did 2 of them. We had a good time. They were great.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
I just dropped my phone. All right,
Too much
so
good. Too much good vibes. That's why.
yeah, we're doing too many things at once. All right, so what was the first Mandela effect that made you realize this was more than just a trending YouTube topic?
Oh yeah. So the first one would be heavens in Genesis 1:1 in the King James Version Bible.
Now, is that
When that
one of your top 3, would you say?
Yeah, actually, that's the first one that brought me knee deep into it.
And well, that's what I was asking. So what are your top 3?
Okay, so we have that one, heavens, and then we have Costco. So my the person I was with back in the day, she used to work across the street from a Costco, and I used to pick her up from work a lot. So we used to always go to that Costco and just have a good time. And when the name changed, I was just like, "What's going on?" You know. So that was the second one. The third one would be Tidy Cats. I know I've had cats in my household, you know, back in the day, so I'm familiar with Tidy Cat's litter. Someone was speaking about it online, and I said, okay, you know, they said that Tidy Cats doesn't have the S anymore, so it's Tidy Cat. So I found myself in the store one night, and I just walked over to the aisle, and sure enough, it was Tidy Cat. And maybe a week later, it went back to Tidy Cats. So that would be my third one.
Yeah, that's a major flip flop for me. I have seen that both ways multiple times. That's so I'm with you on Tidy Cats, but it was always Tidy Cats for me. So I'm with you on that 100%.
Which is it now?
I'm gonna look actually because I don't trust that one. So if you want to read the next question, I'll find out.
Yeah. In your opinion, what do you believe is causing the Mandela effect to happen? What do you think?
I think it's happening because of you. You know, you didn't. I'm just joking with you, man. I mean, I'm happy to be back speaking to you again. Like you said, you were on my channel a long time ago. So
Yeah, we're glad to have you on.
yeah. So what's causing it? I have no idea. But I feel that it's connected to God, us, of course, obviously, right? It's a part of reality for us that are experiencers of it. But I don't know exactly what's causing it. I know some people say CERN and things like that, but it's, you know, it's kind of hearsay, right? Like, do we know exactly for sure what's actually causing it?
That's how I feel. That's why I will talk about the theories, but I don't focus on the theories because we will never know for sure unless, you
Yeah,
know,
there's no way.
there's no way to know, at least in this plane of life, you know. We'll find out when we get to heaven, but until then, I don't think there's any way to find out for sure. So I agree with you 100% on that one.
That means I'll never find out.
Yeah, I'm sorry to give you the bad news, Jeff. Okay, so are there any theories that you feel are not the reason our reality is totally different from what we remember? And what brought you to that conclusion? Like, are there any that you say it can't be that?
I know we have simulation theory. I've talked about that with somebody. I can't think of any other theory that I pinpointed to say that, okay, I don't think it's that. But I do have an open mind to different theories. I just try to understand it from that point.
Understandable. Jeff? I think it might be easier if we just do them in order, Jeff, and then split it. Jeff, are you there?
Yeah,
There we
I
go.
lost track of which one.
That's what I'm saying. So I'll pick up at 12. You just keep going, okay? Or
Okay.
10. Go to 10. I'll pick up.
Okay, we're on which one now?
You're on number 6.
Okay. Do you
Actually,
believe?
I will pick up at 12. Sorry, you go to 12, please. Hold
Okay.
on.
Do you believe that some Mandela effects have a hidden or coded message? If so, can you explain this further or give some examples?
I've heard of people say that these probably have a message and they just put things together, and I never run with that. I don't know if they actually have a message or a code, you know. But I've heard other people say, "Hey, this means this and this means that." And I'm thinking like, well, that's what you're saying, but it could mean something else as well. But the answer is no. I don't know if it's a code or anything like that.
Right. I mean, there's really no way to know. We can only have theories just like on what's causing it. However,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed codes and connections and things like when I first started really getting into it, there were things I was kind of connecting the dots with and what they might mean. And those theories are actually the same things that other people have said. So I was glad to know that it wasn't just me, who thought that. But again, there's no way to know, just like what's causing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is, why do you believe we experience deja vu and experience things changing repeatedly, sometimes only minutes apart?
Okay, things changing repeatedly, sometimes minutes apart. I'm not familiar. Can you break that down for me?
So there are some things that change more than once, like Back to the Future has changed multiple times. The Wizard of Oz has changed multiple times. There's a few others, like we'll notice, like Star Wars keeps changing. We'll notice later on that there are things we didn't see before that weren't there. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sometimes also, I mean, this has happened to a lot of us where we're looking at something and then the next minute or two, we're looking at it again as different from what we saw before. It changed like right before our eyes in some cases. I think
Okay. Yeah.
that
I
happened
never.
a
Mm-hmm.
few times.
So you've seen something change because you said sometimes minutes apart.
Yeah.
You've seen that yourself happen.
Yes. Mostly with songs for me, like song titles or song lyrics. Like they'll be different from when I looked at them a few minutes before. Like sometimes I didn't see the change, and then I did see the change, like right after I looked at it. Because it happens to me a lot when I write songs too, like because I write a lot of song parodies. So I'm looking at the real lyrics online so I can match them up. And sometimes they'll be different than what I saw a few minutes previous. So we experience changes in real time sometimes, a lot of us.
And as John
Y-
Nada is pointing out, we all witnessed. I don't know which one he's referring to, but we witnessed it twice. First on Brian MacFarlane's show, we saw the logo for Mont Blanc. It didn't have a star one moment. Brian scrolled up, scrolled back, and I saw it in a split second and told Brian, scroll back down. And we all saw the star. It wasn't there a second earlier. The chat and us. It's still there on Brian's channel. You can hear us react. You can see the chat react, but the star's there the entire time now in the logo. And then we did a Back to the Future special this past year, and we were looking at the clock tower, and none of us remember the shutters next to the clock. They weren't there. And then all of a sudden they were. And again, you can hear us all react on the show, and you can see the chat react, freaking out because the shutters weren't there and now they were. So we've seen things right in front of our eyes twice now, live on air, which is just, I can't explain that except shifting realities. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. But other people could say, oh, that's proof that we're in a simulation. That's the one theory that I can't get into. But other than that, so thank you for sharing that, John Nada. I'm sorry. Please go on, Prop. And Jeff, sorry.
Yeah, so I'd like to go ahead and insert something regarding in real time. Only thing that I can say is I went live with Scarab. I wasn't on his panel. I did a call in one night, and I called it about Costco. So I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but what happened there was I saved a clip of that segment when I was on there, and so I went back to listen to it one day, and goes into real time. I called in to talk about there used to not be a T in Costco, but within the same broadcast, I'm also saying that what did I say? I said Costco should have the T. You know, I was talking on that level, all in the same broadcast. So both realities existing in one is weird. You know, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but yeah.
I do.
Yeah, and I've actually seen that.
Oh, okay. What do you mean? You actually seen it?
I watched it after you pointed it out one time. I watched watched that stream.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think that's pretty weird because you had said something completely different, and then on the stream it was different than what you said.
Exactly. And I spoke to Scarab showed up in my chat one night, and I had a chance to ask him about it. I said, I brought it up to him, and then he said I called in as Propagate the Light when I called in. And I thought he was joking.
No, I swear to you, the reality I was in, you were the 100%.
Me
for
too.
like months. For months. I know I know it freaks me out when people tell me my name was different. So I know it's got to be freaking you out, but I would not lie to you about that. 100%. And I think I told you this like a year or two ago when you were in the chat, when I noticed that you were this, and I'm like, I even asked you, did you change your name? Because I remember the 100%.
I experienced it too. After the first stream we did together, I noticed it. I thought that your name was Propagate the Light on the first stream that we did. And then I noticed after that it was this light. And I'm like, how did I miss that?
Right.
So yeah, I remember it as well.
Well, sometimes I get on the panel and, as my name is showing right now, as you see my name up there, right? Sometimes I get on people's panels. They're like, hey, Propagate the Light. And my name is showing as this. So I'm thinking like, could it be a brain thing sometimes, maybe?
It could be. But I could have sworn I saw the.
But there's also a theory that we shift at different times, and they are seeing it as the.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that would work, because again, not a physicist and can't explain any of this, but you know what I'm saying? People believe we shift at different times because we experience Mandela effects at different times. Like, for example, I've known about Berenstein to Berenstain bears since 2016. Whereas Jeff, what year? Was it last year or the year before?
2020 is when it changed for me. And
4 years
I
later.
know this for a fact because me and Tina were watching Saturday morning cartoons from the 80s on YouTube in 2019. And Berenstein Bears was one of the shows that came on. I saw the E. I did not react in any kind of way and say, what is this? Seeing a different spelling. No, there was no different spelling. It was Berenstein for me in 2019. It wasn't until I actually read up on the Mandela effect, when I first really found out about it, that I saw the change. So we just shift at different times.
We do. And then, like, there's also, now, I'm not claiming to name things, it's just the names I use. I call them time Mandelas, like cup of noodles, because cup of noodles, people will say, oh, that's not a Mandela effect because the company was cup of noodles back in the day. But the problem is people remember cup of noodles like later than the company changed it. So I think they changed it in 93. I could be wrong on the date. But Brian MacFarlane remembers it through 1995. And Jeff, you remember it much later, right? Or do you remember it? Did Brian remember it later too?
We remembered it the same year.
What year?
Like around between 2014 and 2016. We both remembered that it was still cup of noodles for us.
It was cup of noodles for me through the 90s. So, but again, like through the 90s, like maybe the 2000s. So 1993 is impossible for me. It was not cup noodles in 1993. So for me, that's a time Mandela because we shift at different times. See what I'm saying?
And Alone says, wasn't there Jeff Zanzibar here once? I do not recall.
Did you see the message I sent you, Jeff? I separated the next question so you know where to stop. Just to you on Messenger.
Okay, good. Thanks.
That way you know where to stop because I split them in half.
All right, so on to the next one. Do you believe there's a common thread or attribute among those affected by the Mandela effect?
Yes. One of those is that becoming more observant. Another attribute can be that we've experienced trying to talk to people that is not familiar with the Mandela effect, and we get the same exact responses. So we have that familiar thing, and we go online, we talk about it. So that's one aspect. What else? That's a good question too. But I would just say the top one for me would be being more observant of everything.
Yeah, it definitely makes you even more observant. That's for sure. I was observant already, but now I'm much more observant too. Like I look for things now that I didn't look for before, but I notice things I didn't notice before as well.
I once did a poll in Teresa's group, and I keep saying I'm going to redo it. Now I'm really going to redo it because I'm going to add your answer to the list. Because I did a poll in Teresa's group, Mandela Reality Residue Hunters, asking people if they thought there was a common thread, and I gave options so that they could, tick them off. And I have like, have a disability, they're a night owl. Like there's like a whole list of them, okay? But that's a good one. That you're more observant than people around you, or you feel you're more observant now. That's a great one to add, so thank you for that. I will redo the poll this week. I'm going to do it this week, I promise. I'm going to do it.
So I feel like a lot of us have always been more observant. I know I have. Mm-hmm. I know Sandy has. But we definitely are even more observant.
But I can't tell you how many times I've seen in the chat that, or heard people say, I'm just not as observant as you are.
Yeah.
So I know there are people affected who are not observant, or they are observant, but they're not that observant. But I think it's going to be one of those ones with a high number of people clicking it. That's why I'm definitely going to add it. So thank you, Prop. Yeah, Jeff.
Do you see the Mandela effect as a negative or a positive phenomenon?
Really good questions. I see it as positive because I got a lot of good out of this when I came into it, just real fast. When I came into it, I I met people as yourself. So if it wasn't for the Mandela effect, I wouldn't be here right now talking, and I'm enjoying myself. So I feel good doing what I'm doing, and I look at it as positive. And oh yeah, just let me add real fast. I think it's positive because some of the people that don't really get into the Bible that much, some of those people have gotten more into it because they're looking for Mandela effects. So in the process,
Mhm.
they're learning the word, so to say. Yep.
That's me
I would,
too.
yes, I would say even if you leave the Bible out of it, I think it's bringing more people closer to God and
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I agree with what you said 100%. I never would have met you guys. I never would have met a lot of great people. And I'm having fun doing this. So I think it's a positive thing as well. I look at it as very positive, actually, and interesting.
I I agree as well. I mean, I do see negative messages in Mandela's, but overall, I believe that it's positive because we needed each other to get through this, and it brought us all together.
Yeah.
And I I I I, I am so grateful for the Mandela effect because I have all of you guys.
Me too. And I feel like we need each other because a lot of people in our lives, we try to tell them about this and they don't understand it. And even the ones that do understand it, they don't want to talk about it. They change the subject. So we need each other. It's a very important community.
I agree, but we have an interrupting question in a good way. Thank you to Bellator Senix for the donation of $2. Question for you, Propagate. Matthew 7:15. Uh, ravening, is that supposed to be ravening wolves? Mean more and lion and lamb change. Is that ravaging or ravening? Or ravening? I am, please, please, in the chat, Bellator. Yes, which one? Just a three. I'm sorry. So, ravening, propagate. Do you know which one Bellator's speaking of?
No, I'm looking it up right now though. Let me see here.
Ravening. So that is the one thing I noticed that the Catholic Bible is a lot different than the KVG. KVJ. Wow, G. Oh,
Is
that's
is,
because I'm
is
so
it
focused from ravening.
is it Matthew 17:15 or something like that?
No,
Which one?
7:15.
Oh, Matthew 7:15. Mm,
Yeah, I'm busting out mine too.
yeah, I don't see it here. Maybe I have the verse wrong. Let me see.
Or it could be a different Bible, different translation.
Oh, Matt 7:15. Yeah, yeah, it could be a different Bible or something. Where's this one? Because this one talks about warns against false prophets who pretend to be harmless but are actually dangerous. That's what this one. Oh, here we are. Ravenous. Ravenous.
So it is a different translation. But there's multiple translations of the KVG too. I said G again. Wow, KJV. I'm not even thinking
Hmm.
straight right now.
So what's the question here? It's a question
I'm
for me.
looking. Yes. Do you think the ravenous wolves mean more and lion and lamb change? I'm actually looking in the Catholic one to see what it says. So it's around there. Yours is a little bit further down. Is that where you found yours? Prop?
Excuse me. What do you mean?
Where did you find the ravenous wolves in yours?
I went to Google and it's Matthew 7:15, and it shows at the top.
Okay, so mine says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly
Oh,
they are ravening wolves." And it says hungry next to it. So that's interesting. So what do you think about? Do you think that that verse means more? That's what Felder's asking. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Do you take anything? Does that mean more to you than what the words say? That was the first part of the question.
I think if I'm correct, I may not be, but I think it's describing the thirst of the people that's trying to trick you, like, and they're describing it as ravenous wolves, like they're they move like ravenous wolves, within them. Okay, so look, it says describe the outward appearance of the false prophets in the metaphor of ravenous wolves. The metaphor of ravenous wolves to describe the inner nature. So their inner nature is like ravenous wolves, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I also worry it could have deeper meaning, like there could be, how do I say this? Like NPC demons, not the people we think they are. That's the best way I could say it. Not the people that we think they are. And I could also attribute it to 2020, which that's all I'm going to say. But I could take deeper meaning in that sense. But also, for more clarification, I will go back to the question. Bellator says, I'm trying to find it. Lion and lamb changes is a real warning for me. Is it for you? So, talking about the lion and lamb change, do you see any messages or meaning to it that it's now the wolf shall dwell with the lamb? So that's the second part of the question.
That's interesting. Probably whatever it means, flips. We just have to figure out what that actually means, without speculation, without assumption, to what it sounds like. Because it sounds like the wolf shall lay with the lamb, and people take Jesus as the lamb and the wolf as, the negative spirit or whatnot. So that's the way it looks. But do we really know for sure that that's what it means? That's what I'm wondering. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with saying you don't know. But it says dwell, which is even, like, it's not laying down, relaxed. It's walking amongst them.
Oh, so that's
Like,
what it says. It says the wolf. It says the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. That's the change, right?
yes. Yeah, so it's like walking amongst them. It almost sounds like, like it's amongst them and they're unaware. That's how I read it. That it's
Okay.
dwelling with them and they have no idea.
Okay. So what would the lamb be referring to?
Well, I think that's what Bellator was asking. Like, I could see it as evil versus good. I could see it as, I could go as far as to say the devil and people. The devil is dwelling with us right now. I'm trying to see if Bellator said anything, but they haven't said anything else.
But would you say that that's been going on, even before the verse change? Wouldn't you say that, okay, if you look at the story, somewhere in there it says that God sent the devil, out of heaven, and I think, people think that those spirits came down, fell to earth. Okay, so let's say that's the case. So wouldn't you say that the devil or, entities have been with people all this time?
Oh yeah, I believe they've definitely been with people. I think they have stronger power right now. I believe that right now, things are kicking up a notch. I really do. And I think that the kicking up a notch happened when we saw the new Bible passage, the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. But hold on, I'm going to Google because it's faster. Wolf
Yeah.
and the lamb because it's a little bit different in Catholic Bible.
Okay. Just real fast. Oh, so Sophia says the lamb is those in the flock with Jesus. 'Cause I was asking about, what is the lamb referring to? Okay, I got you. Thank you for that. Oh, but it's a question though. The lamb is those in the flock with Jesus. I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay, so the Good News translation is wolves and sheep will live together in peace. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, but
Let's
okay.
see.
So what is the lamb
So,
actually referring to, and what's the wolf actually referring to?
well, here's the actual scripture in the Catholic Bible. The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid. The calf and the lion and the sheep shall abide together, and a little child shall lead them. And then later on in Isaiah 65:25, the wolf and the lamb shall feed together. The lion and the ox shall eat straw. The dust shall be the serpent's food. They shall not hurt nor kill in all my holy mountain, saith the Lord. See, now I do not know the Bible well. That is the first time I ever heard that one. The wolf and lamb shall feed together.
The wolf being there in the first place is a warning, I feel.
I do too, because I don't
Wolf
remember
is
the
in the
wolf
house.
in there at
Be
all.
warned.
I'm sorry, Jeff, what did you say?
The wolf is in the house, so beware. That's the message I get from that. And it goes with a lot of the stuff we're seeing happen these days. It's a warning.
LVK says wolves and lambs dwelling together can mean that it takes discernment to determine which is which, since they could look alike. Sophia Green, the lamb is those in the flock of Jesus. Now that I agree with. That is the translation I would go with. Jim from Florida, welcome, says dwell is weird. That I never heard before the Mandela effect. Same. I never heard dwell
And it's such a
in that
huge
verse.
change. It's the kind of change that should have woken a lot more people up.
I think the child is Jesus. The child will lead them all. I think the child is Jesus, not the lamb. The lambs are. Oh, I don't know. Wait, now I'm thinking of a song we used to sing in school. Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world. Have mercy on us. That doesn't sound like we're the lambs. I think Noise Giver is right. The lamb could be Jesus. So that Jesus and the devil dwell together. That makes sense. That makes sense because God gave his son Jesus and sent him to earth, and the devil was cast from heaven and sent to earth. So Jesus and the devil dwelling together on earth makes sense. It probably is symbolic, but it could be taken literally. It hurts my heart too. All right, let's get on to the next question. Thank you for that question, Bellator. That was really good. Thank you so much. Again, the question was Matthew 7:15, ravening wolves, which is ravenous in both props and my Bible. Does it mean more? And we spoke about the lion and lamb change. Thank you so much, Bellator, for the donation. I'm sorry, Jeff, you didn't lose your place, did you?
No.
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
Has the Mandela effect affected your personal life and relationships in any way? For example, angering friends and family. And do you know anyone offline who is also affected that you can talk with about the ME?
Yeah, definitely online. Y'all, of course, that's what we're doing now. And also, I met a lot of different people through Moneyback's channel that I could talk to that I met. And we talk about the ME. Did a lot of streams with a lot of different people, and talking to other people that are not familiar with it. The responses I've gotten were, I think y'all are familiar. I think we get the same responses. Like they get mad after a while. I had people get mad at me, just over bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
And let me give you this one example where person I was in a relationship with before um, gave me a good response at first, but then they changed their response all of a sudden. They started getting mad. So we had this product in our house. It's like a company that makes utensils and pots and pans or whatnot, and they box their items, and on the side of the box is written in black the company name, but the box is white. So we had that in our closet for the longest time. I don't remember what the company was, and every time I would look in the closet, I would see that box there with the name showing, and just for a long time, right? And then I known about the Mandela effect or whatever. So I'll find myself in the store one time, like I think it was Target, and I end up in that area where they had pots and pans. So it was that company. They had their items there, and the boxes were there with the white boxes with the black writing on the box of the name of the company. So I looked over, and I'm like, wait a minute, how come they added the B in the name? And I'm like, what? So and then I asked the person I was with. She was with me right there at that moment, and I said, look, and it was her product at home. It was her product, and so she knows what it says. So she looked at it. She's like, what? Why did they change it? That doesn't even make sense. That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And then it occurred to me that, wait a minute, I think this is like part of that Mandela effect. So I brought it up to her at that point, and then she changed her whole response. And then she started getting mad at me. And I'm like, what's going on here? It's like, I'm thinking, am I dealing with an alien now or something? Or what's going on? But that's one of the weird times of responses.
Was it in that same conversation, or was it later on?
It was within that same conversation. She immediately just changed her her going with me on this. She changed it. She just totally flipped it. And it was just like, well, that is their, she's like, I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was something like, no, that is their name or something like that. And but you just said that it was different. No, don't, I don't want to talk about the Mandela effect no more. And then she starts getting mad in the store.
Oh my God. So as soon as you mentioned Mandela effect, her whole story changed. And her
Exactly.
There's something to that.
Exactly. So why did we get those responses? I have no idea,
They're taking some kind of update. There's some kind of evil force stopping them from seeing it, I feel. A lot of other people have said that.
Are you sure? Are you sure, or do you think that's a theory?
Well, it's a theory, but it's one that I'm pretty sure of, yeah. Because I've seen it happen, and their expression changes. Everything changes, just like out of nowhere. One minute they agree with you. The next minute, they're just like completely different people. There's something to that. There's some evil force stopping them from seeing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. What Sandy said earlier about, those that could be walking amongst those.
Yeah. And I also find it interesting that as soon as you said Mandela effect, that was her response.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. And yeah, I really had a hard time with her, Oh, and I'll tell you one thing. I asked her about Chuck E. Cheese because Chuck E. Cheese was not too far from where I would pick her up every day. So then I said, we passed it once, and then I said, what's that restaurant again where they, serve pizza, blah 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 blah. And she goes, what, Chuck E. Cheese's? And I'm like, am I with somebody that's not like really human right now? Like,
Right.
How are you going to call it? How are you going to call it Chuck E. Cheese's?
That's not what it was. And then they changed it back because they might have realized something was going on.
Yeah, that's another thing. And the company decided to rebrand their name to Chuck E. Cheese, the way that we recall it.
Yeah, and we've seen that a lot as well with a few others where they'll do that.
That is so crazy, man. One more with the responses. I had sent a DM to Moneybags at one time. I don't like to always mention names, but this so y'all can be familiar. And he sent me a response, kind of a little bit of a paragraph or whatever. So I went back to the response about a month later. I didn't respond. And I said, okay, let me respond now. And I went back to his message, and his name was different, and it wasn't a paragraph no more. check this out. It wasn't a paragraph no more. It was only like 3 lines written, and his name was different.
Oh, wow.
Wait, how was it different though? I'm curious.
It was Moneybag 78.
Whoa, see, now that's why I asked. A lot of people, for me, it was always 73. But for a lot of people, it was 76.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, it's 78.
Always
That's crazy.
76 for me.
I keep talking about
73,
how.
I'm sorry, 73.
So I keep talking about how, like, when we first started hearing about the Mandela effect and learning about the Mandela effect, there was the reality we remember, and then another reality, right? And it's rarely just 2 anymore. It's always 3 or more. Well, not always. It's mostly 3 or more.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed. Everything. I've been waiting for someone to bring out a different number on Moneybags, and you finally did. Thank you, Prop. I knew there had to be a third reality because it wasn't just 73 and 76. So now we have 73, 76, and 78.
The 73 makes sense because I think that's the year he was born. And that's why he uses it.
Yes. Yes, I believe that is correct. But,
Oh wow, there's 3 different versions of them, huh?
yeah, 3 different versions now.
That we know of.
And the 8 is the 3 mirrored.
All right, the next question. How do you think the Mandela effect impacts people's perceptions of their reality?
They look at it a lot closer, going back to what I was saying earlier, being observant. I don't know what everybody, how it impacts everybody, but I know for myself, and you did ask earlier a question that was kind of similar to that. So you're talking about friends and things like that. Yeah, just to answer that in its completeness, just put those 2 questions together right now. Yeah, I've lost, relationships, I find myself being more alone now, um, for, whatever the semantics were, regarding, different people I'm referring to, it just ends up in, the same places that, okay, less and less people I'm connected to as far as people I've known for years or whatever, but before then, before the Mandela effect, everything was all cool, everything,
Yeah.
but
I've had that happen too.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, actually, somebody as close to me actually said that they think of me as crazy now. So I said, okay, it's all good, whatever, you know.
Well, to that, I'd say you don't want people in your life who feel that way anyway. We want people
Yeah,
we can connect with and relate to.
yeah. It does seem like there's a little bit extra going on, like you were saying earlier, you and Sandy, about other influences. Like, is there something else there? I think, those influences.
Yeah. I've been able to wake up a lot of people, but I've also had resistance to it. And nobody said I'm crazy, but some of them just kind of laugh it off like it's nothing. They don't want to talk about it. Others tell me to shut up about it. And others are intrigued and got into it. Just depends on what kind of person they are. There are some people who just don't have it in them to really get interested in certain things like this. They just don't have that kind of curiosity, and they don't think that deeply about things. There are just certain people that you'll just never get through to about it. It's unfortunate.
It is.
Yeah, yes,
I would.
yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna say, and then there's people like Joey who fits all 3 of those. It depends on the mood.
Okay, yeah. So therefore, I have patience with people if that's the case, because they just, I've always been into like out there stuff, out the box things, since I was younger. So, those types of things actually happened in my world, and you know, so I lean more on that. Some people don't even lean on that. They lean on other stuff, maybe the football game or something. I don't know, sports or whatever.
Mhm.
Wow, you
Is
just
it?
picked the
Is
one that with Joey. You just picked it right there. That's
oh,
it. That's why I said it depends on the mood.
okay, cool. Everything connects like AT&T, huh?
Yep.
Exactly.
Hey, analog line. All right. The next question. Have you ever observed any changes happen in real time? Well, we just kind of talked about this, didn't we? Some examples: an image changing in front of you, a song lyric changing mid-song, geographic changes in your area, etc.
I'm not knowledgeable in geographic changes. People say states and our continents have changed or different shape or whatever. I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, we were
Um,
the
mhm.
question. Like when I wrote the question, I meant like for me, a town in my neighborhood. The name is different from what I remember. It was Narbeth for me, and now it's Narberth. So something like that, like something locally to you, not like worldwide, just like local to you. Have you experienced any local geographic changes like that?
Yeah. You bring one to my recollection here. I was traveling down the street that I used to always travel in the morning time. I think I was going to work or something like that, and it was like two fields in between the roads, so it's just two empty fields, and then it goes up about a couple of blocks, and then you have buildings and things like that. So I was going up that field one day, and I said to myself, it'd be cool if there was a place that provided a certain service. I can't remember what that was. It'd be cool if there was a place that provided that. Okay, and then maybe a couple of days later, I go back down that same street, and all of a sudden there's a building there that provides that particular service.
That's crazy. That see, and that's the thing. Like, how can we prove that to the people in our lives? Like, there's no way. Like, although there is one person that I know in real life who remembers Narbeth like I do, but how do I prove that? Like they're not gonna look at my presentation. They're not gonna look at the residue I have. But that's even harder because that's not like something you can actually find residue of. You know what I'm saying? You just have to
Yeah, you.
find someone who shares the same memory.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, even with the Costco one for me, I'm sitting in that parking lot. I picked her up from work, and this night I didn't want to go in Costco, but she wanted to go in Costco, so we went over there. And again, this place was across the street from her job, so it was noticeable all the time, and we were there all the time. So we went over there. I stayed in the car, and then she went inside. So I'm in the car. I look up at the sign that's right there on the front of the building, right? And I said, and this is what you're talking about, kind of a change, kind of. Um, I look up at the sign. I say it makes more sense if it had a T in it. That's what I thought at the time, and that's what I thought at the time because it was COSCO at that time when I was looking at it, and then later it has a T. So it's kind of like, what's going on,
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Costco without the T.
Okay,
See, and
cool. Yep.
that one, I just take all your. I believe you guys because we didn't have them in my area, so I had. Well, we have Sam's Club, but we have BJ's. Well, it's not BJ's Warehouse. BJ's Warehouse has always been BJ's Wholesale Club, but it was BJ's Warehouse
Yep.
in my past, and so I don't have a memory of Costco because I didn't have them, but mine is different as well. It's BJ's Wholesale Club now, and it was always BJ's Warehouse for me.
And we
We
had
made fun
both.
of it on Schoolyard,
We had both where I lived, and they both changed for me.
and they both you broke up for me. I'm sorry.
They both changed for me. We had both where I
Oh,
lived. I
I
remember
believe
like
it.
you remember with BJ's, and I remember like proper members with Costco.
Yeah, I believe it.
Hmm.
And my dad worked there for years, so I know what I saw.
Yeah, see, that's a crazy anchor memory.
Mm-hmm. And he always used
Look,
to say Costco. He never said Costco.
yeah, that's what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying. I have to believe your memories here, 100%. I've seen so much residue. I've heard so many people who remember it that way, so it's got to be that way. But I've only seen it as COS because it had just recently. I think I became aware of it in 2016 or 2017, but it wasn't even local. You know, it's still not local to me.
Okay. Okay. So tell me this, if y'all seen anything like this, and this is another thing on this topic.
Right.
The Smokey the Bear. So even with Donna Summers, um, when I've been talking about that, next thing you know, I'm seeing billboards up that refers to the way it changed to. So why am I seeing billboards all of a sudden of that particular topic?
That
You mean
happens a lot.
now? Oh, that's
Yeah,
there's yeah, that's nuts.
yeah.
But
There's one. Okay,
okay,
yeah,
no, you go ahead.
yeah. There's okay. Yeah, sorry. There's one for Smokey the Bear. I recall Smokey the Bear, and so
Right.
now it's Smokey Bear. But the on the billboards, on one of the billboards, it says Smokey Bear is within all of us. So like, okay, so are you trying to program everybody that that's what it is? You know, you get it?
I,
Yep. I
yeah,
think
I
so.
think they are. I think that they are, but I also think. See, I believe residue is created by people's memories. Like it doesn't have to be something physical. It can be something on the internet. I believe residue is wherever you find it, and it's created by people who remember it the way it was. So, for example, people take Smokey the Bear. I'll find people drawing a picture of Smokey the Bear, and then they'll write Smokey the Bear on the page. That's residue. They remember Smokey the Bear. See what I'm saying? And I think that's what's happening with the billboards. The people working for the company, they're seeing Smokey Bear every day. They remember Smokey Bear, so that's what the graphic designer gets. That's the text. That's the copyright, Smokey Bear. So they write it. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's most likely what's happening, because in this reality, it's always, well, actually, let me correct myself. It has not been Smokey Bear only in this reality. Um, I recently covered it in my YouTubers affected by, but not recently. I didn't cover that. I didn't make that recently. But the last YouTubers affected by the Mandela effect video I did, I have Smokey the Bear in there. There's a commercial made by them that says Smokey the Bear, and there's a cartoon. It's called the Smokey Bear something, but the song that they sing is Smokey the Bear, and that's the man's excuse, is that we know the song, and I never heard the song until we found the song. The
Such
man's
a lame
excuse.
excuse.
I know, it's so dumb. It is so dumb, but apparently it was Smokey the Bear at times. But again, that could be people remembering Smokey the Bear, writing the song with the man's excuse was the song needed the in there to make it flow better, so that it fit the music. But don't they write the words
That's
before the music, or do they write it together? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
yeah. That's not, because if you're gonna say the name of the item or the person's name or the character's name, and it's a popular character, you're gonna say the name correctly. You're not just gonna say I'm gonna add this just to make it flow better.
Right.
You know, that's just an excuse, I think.
Mhm.
But the whole thing, this aside from living in the reality where it's Smokey Bear, what do you think about what it said on the billboard underneath the name? It said Smokey Bear is within all of us. So it's kind of like, is the Matrix trying to program everyone that change? I guess we call it a change, but that reality, if that makes sense. Isn't that kind of weird that it will say that on the poster?
It
Yeah.
is weird, but I have seen them say that before. Um, in other words, I think their meaning is Smokey the Bear was all about, putting it, being responsible. Like commercials used to be like, if you see a cigarette, put it out. Um, if you have a campfire, make sure it's out. So I think what the company means is Smokey Bear is in all of us, as in Smokey the Bear needs to, you know, make sure that the forests are safe. So you have to act that way, act like Smokey the Bear, make sure things are cleaned up and not on fire. All fires are put out. I think that was the surface meaning, but I do believe, I believe there's propaganda all around us. So I would not put it past them. I would not put it past there being an alternative meaning to what they're trying to say.
Yeah, and then it goes into, okay, so who is they? But I'll let you ask the next question, I guess.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. They would be the media, the company. I believe they're funded. They're government funded, correct? Smokey the Bear.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know, but just in regards to it being different to us, looking at it from that perspective, it just looks kind of like either you're trying to get me to stay. I mean, you're trying to get me to change my knowing of what the name is by saying that Smokey Bear is within us.
Oh no, I don't. I mean, it could be, but I just think, like I said, that that's what it is in the current reality. It's sort of like when I talk about the merging letters and the lambda A's that we see all the time. If it's a current logo, for me, that's not a Mandela, because like if it's a new logo, I'm talking about like I just saw it recently. The new Supermarket Suite. It's a brand new series on Netflix, like a remake of Supermarket Suite, and their logos all merged. Well, that's because graphic designers, if they have the current memory, if they're from this reality, it's always been like that. So merging letters are just normal for them. Do you know what I'm saying? So the people running that ad campaign, the graphic designers and everything, they may have the current memory or be from this current reality where it's always been like that for them. So there may not be a message behind it, but there could be. I could be wrong. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I think it is. I think they're not affected. They know the current memory, and that's all.
They may not be affected, but there's a force that's forcing them to reinforce it to us.
Oh yeah, like the updates and stuff. Yes,
And
100%.
that's what he's getting at.
Yes. But he's getting at right. But and that's what Damien. Hey, Damien, good to see you.
Yeah, Damien said. Yeah.
Like an intelligence behind it, right? But I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if there is an intelligence behind it, and I would like to think. I mean, it's going to sound, and it's probably going to sound crazy, but I think there is a battle of good and evil, God and the devil happening, and I think a lot of the stuff we see could be like a ripple effect of that.
Mm-hmm. But there's definitely an intelligence behind it, especially with what happened to me the other night.
With, I know. We see messages all the time,
with
too.
That message, yeah.
And Bellator says, the universe or God or whatever definitely has a sense of humor behind it. Humor about it. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Is there anything more you want to say about this before I move on?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay. Have you experienced ringing in the ears, sleep disturbances, change in your sleep patterns, or any other changes in behavior since becoming affected?
Yes, I've noticed. I haven't noticed any difference in my sleep patterns or anything like that. But one thing I've noticed with the ringing, you're bringing this back to me because I recalled it yesterday. I'm going to explain it in a minute. It's going to make sense. And I forgot about it, and then just now you just reminded me again. So what you reminded me of as the ringing I had in my ears a couple of nights ago. And I just sat there. I had earplugs in my ear at the time. I said, okay, let me try to figure out where this ringing is coming from. So I took one earplug out, and I kind of wasn't really, I was hearing it kind of faint at that point. And then I put the earplug back in, and it just started getting louder. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna try to like see if I could read into it because I'm clairvoyant. So maybe I could pick up a message or something like that. And then it just started getting louder and louder. And then I don't remember what happened after that. To be honest with you, I don't remember what happened after that. And then I recalled it the next day. And then after I recalled it, I forgot about it again. I don't even. It's just like.
Like you're meant to forget. Like it was meant for you. Like they're trying. Like something's trying to make you forget. That's interesting. I get ringing in the ears, not all the time, but I experience it, and I experience the same thing where it starts out faint and gets loud, and it can last for a second. It can last for 10 seconds. I've had it last for like almost a full minute, and it will just keep getting louder and louder and louder and louder, and then it just stops. And a lot of people, including myself, believe that could be when we shift. That could be a signal of us shifting. Because again, I believe that we shift realities. I have my own theory. I don't know if you've heard it. Because none of the theories fit for me, but like pieces of theories fit for me, but nothing sounded right to me. And then I found something on the internet, which it sent me down like this idea path. So it's just an idea. I'm not saying I'm right, but I think so. There's a everybody remembers us in the Sagittarius arm, and we're in the Orion spur now. Have you heard that?
No.
Okay, so a lot of people in the community remember our solar system being in the Sagittarius arm of the universe, of the galaxy.
Yeah, I heard that. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. And now we're in the Orion spur, or the Orion arm, or the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, which is now below ours. There's like 3 different things that you can find on the internet. It's all BS in my opinion, but regardless, a chunk of the Sagittarius arm is missing, and that's what they say. And scientists claim they don't know what happened to it. So my theory is that's where we were, and possibly something happened in 2012 when we all thought, heard it was going to be the end of the world. And I believe something bad did happen because there's a chunk missing. And I believe God saved us by moving us to an earlier version of Earth. And the reason why I think that is because it explains the shifting of the continents. It explains there not being a North Pole. It explains the sun being white instead of yellow, because in the future our sun will be yellow. In the future, our galaxy will be in the Sagittarius arm. Our solar system. Ignore me with the words, okay? Our solar system will be in the Sagittarius arm in the future. It's a trajectory. Just a lot of things line up. Like now there's rings around 4 of the planets. It was only Saturn in my past. And then Uranus had them. And now 4 of them. Jupiter has them, and Neptune. So they all have rings now, apparently. And they eventually disappear through gravity, so everything points to us being on a past version of Earth. Cleaner water, cleaner air, and everything. Animals that were extinct that are no longer extinct. Living fossils. So that's my theory. But I also believe we're shifting timelines. I also believe CERN doesn't cause the Mandela effect, but amplifies the Mandela effect. Because when they turn that machine on, I get bombarded with Mandela effects. Like, I'm still seeing Mandela effects when it's off, but I see like 100 times more when it's on, and they're usually bigger Mandela effects. So I think it can amplify whatever causing it, And like I said, I think we shift timelines for the stuff like logos and colors and all sorts of weird stuff, but the stuff specific to Earth, shifting timelines doesn't explain that. The Earth is smaller for me. That doesn't explain that. But shifting to an earlier version of Earth could. So that's the theory I made up in my head. Just made up. So like I said, not claiming for it to be what's going on. That's just what I think it could be. But that's what I was asking you about with the, if you had heard of the Sagittarius arm, and I can't even remember where this started because that was such a long tangent. I woke up right before the show, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, it's like I forgot about that. I forgot about that, so I'm happy you brought it up. So thank you for bringing that back up. And when you get the onslaught of Mandela effects happening, when you said they turned CERN on, did you know ahead of time that they turned it on, or did you find out later down the line?
Both. There have been times when I've known about it ahead of time, and then there have been times where people will say they turned CERN back in the chat. They'll tell me that they turned it on a few days ago, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Because the last few days have been crazy. Like, there are times that I will see like 1 or 2 new ones a week, and then there are times where I'll see 5, 6, 7 in a day, and that's when CERN is on. It's nuts sometimes. I'm not saying I see 5, 6, 7 every day, but like I might see 5, 6, 7 in a day. That doesn't happen when it's off. You know what I'm saying? Like at least from what I know of. But it seems like every time I hear that it's on, either before or after, it seems like the Mandela effects are, like, more people are affected by them, and I'm seeing more of them at a time. And they're usually like nuts. Like CERN is on now, and now I just covered this past Saturday air glow. Have you ever heard of air glow, Prop?
I never heard of that. No.
No, we'll show it again tonight after the interview stuff. I'll just let you see what I'm talking about. Instead of explaining it, I'll let you see it.
Okay, well, yeah. Okay.
But that's
why
with the ear ringing, it's okay. But that's why I believe you're shifting timelines as well, and I think that's what may be happening when we hear the ears ringing. That's what I was getting at. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. I heard someone else say, just real fast, I heard someone else say that you're getting a download or something like that. So I'm just like, well, are these assumptions, or do we, or, like you said, you lean on that, and that's a good one, But the downloads thing is just like, okay, I'm not sure about that for sure,
I'm not either. I would say that poll I did on Teresa's Facebook group, a lot of people are night owls in this community. Not everyone, but a lot of people are, which makes me think maybe the updates or the downloads happen when we sleep or in the middle of the night. If there's a schedule to them, I don't know, because I'm making all this up as I go. That's why I don't talk about the theories, because I can't. I like knowing, I like saying for sure, and all of this stuff is conjecture. It's just guessing. We're just guessing. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I refer to the poll I did, because a lot of people affected seem to be awake at night a lot. They seem to spend time alone a lot. A lot of us are disabled. A lot of people had a near-death experience, or something that could have caused one, such as surgery or an accident. Things that could have split us off to another reality or an earth. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all guessing. It's all guessing. I'm sorry. I'm just quickly looking up in the chat to make sure I didn't miss any questions while we were talking, because I looked away for a second. And there's a lot of people in the chat. All right, I think I got them all. Sorry. What were you going to say, Prop?
Oh, did you want to show somebody somebody's comment on the chat? Sophia Green got some good ones as well, and also LVK about the download. I like that. I like that right there.
I'm looking, see that in StreamYard, I don't know if you experience this, it cuts off my chat very early. Like, thankfully, I was able to star all the questions because I can't see any questions at all that I starred, but they're still in my starred comments. But it cuts it off so fast, I can only go back to 10:12. So Damien G says a lot of it, Sandy, probably 95%, but not all of it, have found actual residual of originals. Yes, I'm not saying that real stuff in real life isn't residue. 100% it is residue. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that things online, some people say that things online aren't residue. And I don't believe that because I believe residue is created by our memories. Okay. Damien says, I think to your the billboard you saw, it's all to go with the agenda that we are going to burn up due to climate change. Yes, we've covered the Smoky Mandela as well. For the Smoky Mountains and Smoky the Bear. Jim was in the Royal Rangers. It was all Smoky the Bear. And Damien says to you, Prop, it was the intelligence behind this haunting you. I'm looking
It
for
was
the comments you mentioned. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I got you. The Damien G, the intelligence behind what's going on.
Yeah. See, I still don't see LVK comment that you mentioned. Oh, got the download. There it is. Got the download is a useful way of saying you were just made aware of a particular ending. Not sure if that's what actually happens, though. Yeah, so if someone took an update, they're updated with the current reality. If we got the download, we can see the Mandela effect. That is a good way of, like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Distinguishing the two different things that could happen. So you could take an update and get the current reality. Like we've actually thought updates live on air. Like, oh my gosh, I'm taking the update. I remember it both ways now. Now I have a dual memory. You know what I'm saying? But oh, that's fun. I'm so sorry about that. But getting the download could be that we are you know, like an update is happening, but we're not taking it. We're not taking the update. It could be something like that. LBK also says I'm a loner, always have been, and I have insomnia most nights. Parody Bear Welcome says I'm lonelier than a loner. All right, so let's get back into the question. In your opinion, Prop, do you think the Mandela effects are slowing down, speeding up, or are they constant with that, like where it varies in intensity and frequency? And why do you believe this?
I don't even know what I believe about that because I haven't even really noticed anything of that sort, speeding up or slowing down or anything like that. Me personally, from my perspective, my reality, I haven't been really searching for Mandela effect videos like I used to, so I don't really notice as much as I would if I was to search for videos, But I've come across some new ones via your stream, via your channel, because you always come out with some new ones, which are 5 Mandela effects a day that you get downloaded.
No,
You
I
know,
get so
so
many that are on the back burner. So there's a lot more. You just don't see them yet. You'll see them eventually, but not yet. Because it takes work. That's all.
okay. But do you think this is slowing down? Because I'm wondering myself if that's a thing, if it's slowing down or speeding up.
I already told you. It's constant for me. It's constant. I think it only slows down and speeds up right now, based on things I've observed. It's constant, but when CERN is off, they're slower, and when it's on, they're more frequent. But it's a constant. I never stop seeing them. They may be stupid ones though, like an S missing or an S added. You know what I'm saying? Like little things. They may be little, but I'm constantly seeing something that's not right. Like I just covered one where Jack Parr was PARR for me, but it's PAAR now. So, you know what I'm saying? They're not always like heavy hitters, you know what I'm saying? But I'm seeing them constantly. There is
Yeah,
something I did want to say to something you said, and now I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, all right, you go on. If I think of it, I'll tell you what I was going to say.
yeah, we might bring it back again. Yeah, so it's perspective from my end. I don't really notice anything. But I have now that you're saying all of that. Excuse me, I did notice some things I never even spoke on. One guy got captured and they took him to jail or whatever. Some things happened. I'm not gonna mention any names or the case or what it was, but that already happened, and then it happened again. They had just captured him, this guy again, and I'm just like, that already happened, you know. And then I also noticed that what's the movie? The Incredibles 3 already came out, and then it came out again.
Yeah, and that's funny that you mention it. That's a sync. I just found out while doing research for Jack Parr that Jack was based off of Jack Parr. It's Jack Parr, and his name is spelled RR, the way I remember Jack Parr being. So it's funny you mentioned The Incredibles, because that's just weird. Crazy.
Okay, wait a minute. Did you
As a
say there's
sync.
two? You said there's one
Huh?
R now? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, it's one R. It's two A's, but not in The Incredibles. I'm talking about the Tonight Show host, Jack Parr. I remember PARR, but now it's PAAR. It's like the reverse of Haas Avocado. Like we remember
Okay.
HAAS, but now it's HASS. So, and now Parr was PARR, and now it's PAAR. Since it's like the reverse.
Okay, I'll say that because I thought I'd seen that name before apart, but um, yeah, I'm not familiar with that talk show host.
He was the host of the Tonight Show before Johnny Carson in the late 50s, early 60s. He was the first
Okay,
host of the Tonight Show.
interesting, interesting.
All right, let's see. Do you think the changes to weather, cloud patterns, natural disasters, etc., are related to the Mandela effect?
I would have to know what the Mandela effect is before I could answer that.
I got you.
Because we could say that, okay, maybe we're in a different reality and then we don't really notice it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's been prophesized that it'll be things happening like earthquakes and things like that. So we could lean on that too, right? So Nostradamus, I think, well, anyway, it was prophesized somewhere. I forget now. I don't know. Haven't you heard that there'll be like a lot of things happening, like earthquakes and things? Have you heard that?
I mean, yes, I have, but I'm more talking about like there's like when I was growing up in school, we were taught about four different cloud types, and now there's like 14 and counting. Um, like we have new weather like graupel. Teresa discovered graupel, I think in 2019 or 2020. Um, Like there's new forms of precipitation. There's new types of clouds. There's like 5 or 6 different types of rainbows now. Rainbow mountain ranges. There's like 14 of them. Rainbow places on Earth, I should say. There's like 6 different rainbow trees. Like those things. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like, do you think those are Mandela effects? Because like things were those things in your reality before, or are they new for you? Are they new to your reality?
Yeah, those things I did hear about excuse me, I heard about some of those things. Yeah, those are new to me. You know, like rainbow trees and things like that. I've seen some pictures somebody was showing. Yeah, so yeah, those things
Yeah.
are new to me. Those things are still here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Moneybags found the first one when he was on his vacation in Hawaii, I believe. And those were like the craziest rainbow ones. They were like neon, multicolor rainbow trees. And then I found like 6 more, but they're like the bark is red, orange, and yellow on one of them. It's like a sunset. It's called a sunset or a fire tree or something. And then there's another one that's all greens and yellows, and another one that's blue and something. And then there's one with a purple center, a purple heart. There's all different rainbow types of trees now. The bark was just like a wood color in my past. There's no colors like that at all, except for maybe like red, like cherry wood or something, but nothing insane. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing unnatural. Like blue was rare in nature in my past, and now blue is everywhere. Blues and purples everywhere. So that's why I don't know. That's why I was asking if stuff like that was a Mandela for you. But you already answered, so that's good.
Yeah, I never noticed it before. I never heard any science channel talk about it or anything in school or anything like that. So yeah, definitely new for me. But I'm not sure if it's actually a Mandela effect. Maybe it could be, but it's like, what is the Mandela effect? What is that to begin with? Is it we're going in and out different realities? Is that what's going on? For sure, you know?
And that's why I came up with my own theory, because I could explain shifting timelines for me. I really believe you're shifting timelines. That's the theory I buy into to explain like Berenstein and Berenstain. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's a reality shift. Um, but I couldn't explain the continents being in the wrong place. I couldn't explain why the water outside was cleaner and why there's rainbow trees and all this new weather and animals and all this stuff. That's why I came up with my own theory, because I couldn't explain that stuff. It's new for me 100%, but shifting timelines doesn't explain that. So that's why, I came up with the theory that we're on an earlier version of Earth based on scientific stuff. Well, I'm saying scientific with air quotes, you can't see it. But you know what I'm saying. You can't try, stuff on the internet could be completely lies. So is there a chunk missing in the Sagittarius arm? Who knows? Is there a Sagittarius arm? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But based on that stuff, based on them saying how we're moving in the galaxy, based on what the sun will be in the future, based on all this stuff, the way the continents shift, maybe if there's an ice cap at the North Pole, waters recede. You see what I'm saying? So, that's where I came up with my theory. And I just remembered what I was going to say. You were talking about how you haven't been watching Mandela Effect channels. About a year ago, maybe even a year and a half ago, and I even talked about it on the show around that time. I was telling people around me who are on YouTube, I was noticing that they were constantly, rescheduling. They didn't seem that, it was like the energy was just zapped from them. They didn't want to do shows. They didn't want to make videos. And I was saying to people, you need to fight this. Because it's not just you. It's happening to multiple people around me. Something is happening. It's like something is trying to get us to stop talking about this. I'm like, you need to fight it. And now, a year, maybe even 2 years in, it's like no one's making Mandela effect videos anymore, except for like mainstream people doing it as like, you know, for the views. But people in the community, there's only a few of us left. Many people have just stopped. I don't know what it is, but something happened because I felt it. I felt it, like viscerally felt something happening. And I warned people, and I begged them to just do it. Even if you don't feel like it, just do it. And a lot of people didn't, and they stopped. So it was funny that you mentioned that you're not watching as many videos, and well, there's not as many videos out there. That's what I would have to say. There's not as many channels. I mean, Once Upon a Timeline, I believe, is still doing stuff. To answer a question in the chat, I believe Parody Bear, I have asked her to be on the show before. I don't know her like that. I've spoken to her in chat. But she said she doesn't do that sort of thing. So I would love to have her on. You guys can get her to come on. That'd be great. Need Input hasn't been doing many videos, but I think that's personal stuff going on. That's why. I think a lot of people are also having personal issues. Like, this has been a rough couple of years, you know? Like, I have a fundraiser right now because we've been fighting eviction since Christmas Eve. And Joey has a job lined up, but it's through the government taking care of his sister. So until that's approved, we don't have the money to pay the rent. So this has been an ongoing fundraiser. It has been a rough year. Like, it's been just bad. And I think a lot of other people are going through a bad year as well. So that could also be playing a part. And then a lot of people are busy. I believe Moneybags is working on a movie, isn't he? Prop?
I don't know. I stopped going to his channel.
Oh. Yeah, because he's not making as many videos, but I think that's because he's busy.
Well, he's part of the documentary that was already made that's coming out next month about the Mandela effect.
Oh, okay. It's already made.
Yeah.
Okay, well then,
Jacob
I don't know.
Israel is on that as well.
Okay, so, but I do know Jacob Israel made a Mandela Effect video recently for the first time in a very long time. Guys, I have to call him again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. But, I mean, I'm sure there's multiple reasons, but all I can say is I know for a fact. I mean, Jeff, you can back me up here, right? You've heard me talk about this, where I was like feeling like there was something trying to like stop people from talking about the Mandela effect. I don't know if it's like this losing of interest. I don't know what it is.
Seemed like they were dropping like flies. Like nobody wanted to do live streams anymore. Nobody wanted to do videos anymore. People were disinterested. People were, having other things going on and not really caring.
Yeah, but they had those other things going on before, and they did care. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lack of care. That was a good word to use. Thank you, Jack. Go on.
And some people, maybe they get burnt out on things. I don't know, but it seemed to be a lot of
all
people.
At once?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seemed to be a lot of people all at once who got burnt out on.
So it was very weird. I feel like it's less so now, but like I think people are starting to come back. Like even, oh God, I always forget the channel name. It's the biggest Mandela Effect channel in the community, and I can't remember. And he's not really in the community, but he is. Like all he did were Mandela effects. But he's been around since like 2015 or 2014. And I can't think of his name. His logo is the pyramid with the all-seeing eye. If anyone knows who I'm talking about, please put it in the chat. Big channel, like 80 or 90,000 subs. I can't think of his name. Not Recall Vector, no. No, this person was around before everyone, before Moneybags. shoot. If I think of it, I'll let you guys know, and if I see it in the chat, I'll let you guys know.
What did
Not
he
call
look
for an
like?
uprising. That's the thing. He just recently came back after years of not making videos, and he was on camera. Usually, it was just Mandela effects, like a video type deal. He was on camera, and I didn't even know it was a guy. I assumed he was a guy, but I do that with a lot of Mandela effect channels. I assumed Curious&Curiouser was a guy, and people told me when I was Mandela residue research, they assumed I was a guy. So I think it's just an assumption we make on YouTube. But he is a guy. He was on. Gosh, I can't think of the name. It's going to drive me crazy. But yeah. So he came back, and then he stopped again. So, but I am seeing people coming back, making more stuff. Brian Staveley is always going. Yeah. But we just saw people dropping like crazy. I think it was like an enormous amount of stress. I don't know. All I know is that I felt it. I warned them. I said something's trying to make us stop talking about it. Please keep going. And some did and some didn't. It was just really weird. I don't know Mustard Seed of Faith. Welcome. I don't know. Not a British guy, Sophia Green. I don't know if he was Christian. We didn't talk about anything like that. He was just covering standard Mandela effects. Nothing about the Bible or anything like that. Okay. Do you think the laws of physics are changing, or believe that they are different in this reality?
I may have to ask Terrence Howard about that one. But
Yeah, I know.
it
I
could.
just saw that too.
But I wouldn't doubt it though. I don't know much about, the laws of physics or whatever. So I think I guess pretty much that includes like gravity and things like that. It could be a little change there that I don't realize because I'm not familiar.
Yeah. Brian MacFarlane added that question. I guess because science tells us that the magnetic field is different, and for me, I always heard that I don't want to say it the whole thing because I don't want this to get I don't want YouTube to make me edit anything out. So I will say I always heard the Van Allen belt. Are you familiar with the Van Allen belt? Have you heard that term before?
Yeah, definitely. But I'm not familiar with,
Yep.
anything about it really.
And I can't talk much about it because of the YouTube. But like for example, there's now multiple belts. It's the Van Allen belts, and they change in size and number, apparently, according to science. So I think that's what Brian was referring to with like the laws of physics. Like there's now Van Allen belts, and I don't know, but we'll go on to the next question. No big deal at all, because I wouldn't know how to answer that either, to be honest with you. So I think that was a pretty darn good answer. How do you respond to skeptics and deniers who dismiss the Mandela effect as misremembering or false memories? And why do you believe they cannot or refuse to see or acknowledge what we clearly see? Doc, can you hear me?
Oh, I was muted. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Can you
Okay.
repeat that? I was
Of
talking all this
course.
time. Can you repeat that question again? I apologize.
It's no problem. Of course it can. And I'll do it in two parts. So the first part is, How do you respond to skeptics and deniers who dismiss the Mandela effect as misremembering or false memories?
I just let their comment be their comment. I don't get mad. I don't try to go back and forth and battle them with it. Like I said, I kind of dipped into that a little bit in my past relationship, and that relationship was for a long time. So a good part of that was me just like, man, because I didn't have nobody to talk to. So, it's just like, okay, I'm done with trying to like convince people or point things out. So if they do say that it's misremembering or something, I just let it be. I just be like, okay, and I'll probably bring something else up to see what they think about that, and then I'll just leave it at that.
The second part of the question, but before we get to that, Parody Bear is asking if we can play a song. Parody Bear, is it copyright free? That's the important thing. And two, we could play a song or two, because Propagate, I was asking Propagate if he wants to play his new song. In between, like after the interview questions, so it gives you guys time to put any more questions in the chat. Again, the pinned comment at the top, if you have a question, put Q : so it stands out so I know to mark it up. But we can always like play a song or two to give you time to put questions in the chat before we get to that portion. But it's got to be copyright free. Otherwise, I'm going to have to edit this and then I'll lose the chat. And I really don't want to lose the chat on this type of show. So I'm sorry. But Prop, going back to that same question that we were talking about, why do you believe deniers or skeptics cannot or refuse to see or acknowledge what we clearly see? Why do you think they are the way they are, I should say?
Well, it's funny you say that, Sandy. Well, as I think back to my experiences, I don't know. You say why do they respond that way? Is what you're saying, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if I was in their shoes, I would too. And so it's all perspective. From my perspective, it's kind of like, how can you respond that way after you already agreed to this so-called change, and now you want to change things up on me twice? So, and it's coming from the person I'm, with. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, okay, I would love to be able to work together on this, but I can't force it. So if you don't understand it, it is what it is. Yeah. But I don't know why they get mad. I don't know why people actually get mad.
Yeah.
Maybe because they didn't expect that in the relationship, or they don't expect that from us. So it's kind of like they're uncomfortable now. They're uncomfortable. They're not familiar with this version of you.
That's a good point. Never thought.
Yeah, that is a great point. I never thought of that.
Yeah. That's definitely what's happening with me and certain people. That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you. Yeah. I'll charge you for that later. No, I was playing. No. No. But yeah, when I look at it from that perspective, it's more of an understanding at that perspective. I understand from that, looking at it from that way. It helps me to be more comfortable. And it's like, okay, maybe they're looking at it that way. Maybe they're coming from that perspective, is what I'm trying to say.
That is a really interesting point. I didn't even think about that. Like, we see them as being different from what we remember. But it could be like that they're seeing us as different. You know what I'm saying?
That actually really got me thinking, because it's definitely the case with me. Like,
well, it makes more sense. We're the ones shifting.
The way I am with people who I brought this up to is usually joking around, singing my songs, goofing around, certain things or certain parts of my personality that I show to them. And then all of a sudden I come at them with this, and they're like, "What? Where's this coming from? He's never done this before," and they're freaked out,
Yeah.
and they're uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, V says you're positing radical worldviews that would completely shatter their understanding of reality. And N says
Yeah,
he's saying based on an idea of different reality, they're uncomfortable with you not being their you. And it does make more sense. They're not different to us. We're different to them.
yeah,
We're the ones shifting. We're from a different reality, not them. We're
yep,
the travelers in their reality. We're the imposters.
yep.
That's a weird way to think of it, but it's true.
It's
Oh my goodness.
an interesting theory that I never thought of, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I do have to respond parody there again. Even if I do it at the end, I'll still get a copyright if it's copyrighted music, and I will still lose the chat. Like, if I have to edit the video at all, the chat is gone. So I have to be extra careful with the music. On a show like this where the chat is imperative to be there. It's a little different than just answering questions for Mandela effects, you know? So I can't play anything that's got a copyright. Sorry, guys. All right, so is there anything that you'd like to share or discuss that we didn't already ask? And are there Mandela effects or theories you'd like to share or discuss?
Let me see. Mandela effect theories I'd like to discuss. No, there's nothing I could think of right now. Yeah, I will share something. So you mentioned earlier about the sun being the part of the Mandela effect. You know, it used to be yellow, and then it's white. I actually observed that. Come across a video, someone said something about it. Went outside, looked, and I was like, "Oh wow, it's white," right? I come across a video that happened years ago. So I just come across a video recently, and I do have the link here and the timestamp. A guy was talking about that. He wasn't talking about the Mandela effect. He was talking about some other stuff, but he brought that up, and he said, "Yeah, you go outside. The sun used to be yellow, and that was white. It's because it's interacting with us. You know, it's sending light rays or something." How he explained it, and it's something about everything's going to a higher vibration. So I know that a lot of us heard that within the Mandela effect community. So that's what he was talking about. He said it's white now because it's at a higher vibration, and everything else is a little bit of a higher vibration as well.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see that. But like I said, if it was just the sun that was white, but I don't understand why the Earth is bigger, and I don't understand why South America is all the way over to the right, or it's these. And I even found there's a TV series called Goodnight Beantown from the early '80s, and it was about a newsroom, and on the wall they have South America. It's insane. It's not only all the way to the east, but it's tilted, it's rotated counterclockwise so that the tip of South America is off the coast of South Carolina and Florida. Like, it's just nuts. And Tasmania was attached to Australia for me. It wasn't an island. And New Zealand was much higher up. Australia was the land down under. But now it's South America that's the land down under, not Australia or New Zealand. Everything's just wrong. And a vibration doesn't explain that for me. But I could be misunderstanding what they mean by vibration. But I don't see how that could affect everything like that. But I could just not know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, just real fast. You're talking about the geographical changes. Would you say that that's in tandem with all the other changes? It's like If there's changes, there's changes,
No,
right? So, but
no.
okay,
I think we shift timelines much more frequently than we shift to an earlier. I think we shifted to an earlier version of Earth, and that's why we're finding all these extinct animals. And I think we have shifted multiple times to earlier versions of Earth, and that's why I can find incremental Mandelas with like South America moving further east than it was, than it is now. I mean, but I think we shift timelines much. I think we shift timelines all the time. I think we are moving in and out of timelines, and that's only because I see so many Mandela effects all the time, and a lot of them are Mandela effects, like Jeff calls them, incremental changes, because the same things have new Mandela effects with them, or they flip flop. So I think we're constantly in and out. Like, you just think of strings, just, I don't know, crossing over each other, spinning around each other, just lots of strings. And I can't, that's the only thing that makes sense to me because of how much I see. And I can understand someone who doesn't see Mandela effects all the time thinking that we shifted once or twice, or we rarely shift. But with what I see, what I experience, I think we're shifting all the time. Timeline,
okay,
not Earth, separately.
okay. So
But
what do
yeah,
you
it
mean
is all
by
speculative.
so you're saying that you're thinking we shifted to earlier versions of Earth? So okay, so do you know how the landmass looked in the earlier version of Earth, and you're saying that that's lining up to what it looks like
Yes,
now?
you can research. There's videos. Now again, those videos are also speculative. That's what I was pointing out. That's all speculative. I agree. I'm not saying I'm right. I am definitely not saying I'm right. It is just something that I came up with to explain both things, because nothing explained both things for me. So I literally made up that theory. So I'm not saying it is fact, not saying it's correct. There's no way we can find out if anyone is correct. But yeah, there again, and I can't say these are correct either. But on the internet, you can see how there's a simulation where it shows the shifting of the continents from Pangea to the different stages, and you see like Australia below New Zealand, and Tasmania is attached in one of the frames, and then everything separates. Like, you can see this stuff happening in this simulation. I have no idea where it is. I'd have to go find it again. And I can't even guarantee it's still there because I don't know where it was. But I saw that. That's what made me think of this idea that we shifted to an earlier version of Earth. Because I saw that, and then I saw that the chunk of the Sagittarius arm was missing. And I pieced together a possible theory as to why this is happening and how. But again, just my theory. No one has to buy into it. No one has to believe it, and I'm not saying it's that. Just wanted to get that out there. So, go on. Yes, everything fits into the simulation box, right? But I can't buy into simulation theory. He says that might as well put a ribbon on it with simulation theory. For me, I believe everybody's right and everyone's wrong. Pieces of everything is correct, and pieces of everything is wrong. I believe everything is at play. I believe there's the spiritual, that God, the devil, Jesus, or whatever God you believe is playing a part. I believe shifting is a part. I believe CERN is a part. The only thing I can't buy into is simulation. And if you believe it, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to say you're wrong. It's just wrong for me. It's wrong for me because for me, that erases God. I don't believe God would put us in a simulation. And I don't believe that I can't believe if you think of the simulation like the movie The Matrix, I believe that if we're aware of it, we would have some control over it. I'm not saying we'd have the same control as nothing like Neo in the movie The Matrix, nothing like that. But I believe we'd have some control, a little bit at least. And that would mean, in some part, I am keeping myself bedridden. I am keeping myself sick, and I refuse to believe that. I refuse that I haven't been able to find something to help me feel better. I just can't, I cannot buy into the simulation theory because of those two things. But if you believe it, I am not going to stop you from believing that. I'm not going to even say you're wrong, because you could be absolutely right. I just can't believe it unless I know for a fact that's what it is, if that makes sense.
I got something to throw in there real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm not going to go too weird with this because I know people will be like, oh, it's not my experience. But I don't expect people to actually believe it. But I've had experiences where I'll go to bed and then I'll wake up somewhere else. Now, I've spoke about this before, but some people may have heard it for the first time. So I will wake up somewhere else. So one time I woke up in a pod. Yes, a pod. Now, when I got up out of the pod, now you can take it as a dream, whoever's listening, I don't care, but I know what happened. I literally woke up in a pod. And when I got out the pod, there were other pods around me. And so some other things happened. I'm not going to get into that. But going with the simulation theory thing, right? So let's say you said that God wouldn't put us in a simulation. Okay, so let's say, what if some other beings put us in a simulation for whatever reason? And of course, God is still the head of everything. But maybe some other beings put us in a simulation. What are your thoughts on that? Let's say you.
I mean, like I said, that could be the case. I mean, that's what happened in the movie The Matrix. The machines put them in the pods. But again, for example, when Neo became aware, he got out. He was able to affect his reality. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, again, that we'd be able to affect our reality in that way. But I am saying that I think we'd be able to affect it to some degree if we were aware of it. And that means, like, I don't know. Here's one thing I did notice in the movie The Matrix. I didn't see disabled people. Except for... No, I didn't see disabled people. I forget her name. The one that was a woman and then a man in the Matrix, a woman in real life. I think there was someone who was blind in real life and then in the Matrix could see. There's no disability in sickness in the Matrix in the movie. And I would assume it'd be the same way in a simulation. I can't imagine someone be like, oh, this one's going to be sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I would think the simulation would be detailed, but not that detailed, where they're going down to everybody. I don't know. I see, like I said, there's too much variation. There's too much. I can't see this being a simulation. It's too detailed. It's too diverse and intricate for it to be a simulation for me, if that makes sense. Like, I hate having to compare it to a movie, but that's the best thing we got for simulation stuff. Any simulation you see, though, simulation games, everything. There's I'm trying to think of the word. It's like it's detailed, but there's like it's like as detailed as it needs to be. You understand what I'm saying? And our reality, our world, our lives are much more detailed than it needs to be. That's what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. But
makes
what?
sense to me.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Yeah, yeah.
I was just saying it makes sense to me. I agree. And I don't think we're in a simulation. That's the one theory I can't get behind as well.
Hmm. Well, some would say it's kind of like Avatar, like we're not our body type thing. And so in that sense, I guess. Okay, so maybe like the holodeck is that's what we're referring to, simulation, right?
Yeah, or you could take Avatar as an example. The world of Avatar all looks the same. There aren't other countries with cities and languages. See what I'm saying? Like, it's only as detailed as it needs to be. There isn't additional details outside of that world. It's like it would be like, for example, I've never been to France, but I know France is there. I can tell you what it looks like based on photos and videos and people's experiences in France. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more. Whereas Avatar, it's just their world. It's just a jungle with the mountains. It's all mountains. I'm going to cough again. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's
but
only as detailed as it needs to be. It's that world. It's like a contained world. Any movie is a contained world. And I don't feel like our world is a contained world. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
It's too detailed, like you
it's
said.
more detailed than it needs to be. That's the
Yes,
best way I can say.
I know exactly what you mean, and I agree
If
with
you
you.
can think of a better way to say it, then please say it, because that's the best I got.
It's hard to think of a better way, but I definitely know what you're saying.
And if this is a simulation, it would be based on a computer server, a quantum computer or some sort of server. That's another reason why you couldn't have it more detailed than it needs to be. Because we're talking about the scale of the people that would be in the simulation is, I mean, there's children being born, even though there's more, well, in the world, there's more children being born than people passing away.
And plus, the
I
thing
don't
is,
know.
that's the one theory that the media will actually entertain, which tells me it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
know that
I
what
will
I see
agree
is
with you
real.
there too.
I know
Go
what I
ahead,
see is
sorry.
real. I know what I experience is real. I don't think it's some kind of computer simulation. And I think that takes the spiritual aspect out of it, which ruins it for me. And I like the spiritual aspect of it, and I believe in the spiritual aspect of it. So I definitely do not subscribe to the simulation theory.
I have to answer Ed Hen. Ed Hen says, "Can you tell me what France smells like based on history, Sandy? If you say an answer, you're correct. It's croissants. It's croissants. That is what it smells like." No, I'm kidding. Sorry. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, I'm not going to tell
yeah.
anybody they're wrong, but I cannot buy into simulation theory. I really don't think that's what it is, but I could be wrong. I'm not
Okay.
saying I'm right.
Okay. I'll throw this in there then. Do you believe that heaven exists?
I do.
Okay. Do
Absolutely.
you do you know the scale of the creation of heaven? Do you know the scale of it? Do you know what it looks like, and how much room how roomy it is, or where it exists at, or whatever?
I don't know where it exists at. I can describe it based on other people's descriptions, but I have not seen it. And I heard that it's infinite. And there are different, but the descriptions I've heard, um, that there's a city, but there's also the countryside. one near-death experience, or someone died and was brought back. They said Jesus gave them a choice. Do you want to go to the city or the countryside? But Jesus already knew the answer. And they started walking down a path that wasn't gold, but glittered like gold. But they started walking down like a dirt path of gold into the countryside. But they could see the city in the distance. So there was, that's the best all I can tell you is what I've heard other people say. And that it's referred to as infinite. And it's above us. That's about the best I got for you on that one.
Okay, so you said it's infinite. Okay, and so this is a good segue to my new channel that you put up there earlier, Propagate Light Network. And it features a lot of my NDE content. So if anybody want to go there and follow me there, I'll be posting there. So some of the people that talk about NDEs, they talk about, like you said, they see a city, excuse me, you said it's infinite and things like that. They'll have descriptions, and that's why I have them on, because I want to know more. I know a lot of this stuff connects. It's a part of reality, just like the Mandela effect. So maybe not to be just in one part of reality, which is the Mandela effect, but to like kind of, go over the whole landscape to see what's what, and maybe I could understand it better, So you said it's infinite. So when you said earlier, when you're talking about it has to be some type of mainframe or some type of computer program that's running
Server,
everything.
yeah.
And you said that when you look at it like that, it'll be hard to have everything so detailed. But if you're talking about something that's been created, maybe let's say by God, or or something like that, then maybe it's not like a general computer. Maybe it can export or import a lot of data, because let's say you said heaven is expansive, right? So why would it stop at
That's what I've heard before. That's what I'm saying. I've heard from others that it's infinite. That's in the Bible, that it's infinite. That the people who've had the near-death experience come back and say that it's infinite. There's no other way to describe it, but on a server you would be limited. And unless God created that simulation, and I don't think he did. I don't think he would. I don't think he could, because I think he wants us to experience like heaven is the spiritual realm, and this is the physical. I think he wants us to experience the physical realm, and a simulation isn't physical. To me, it's not. So I don't. That's what I'm saying. In a way, that would erase God for me. But except you said, unless it was, you are correct. If other beings put us into a simulation, that doesn't erase God. So that's good. I agree with that. But I still don't think God would do that, and God would be the only one who could have an infinite realm of simulation, in my opinion. But that's also based on my knowledge of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? An alien race that's far advanced from us could have a way to store multiple Earths into a little chip. I have no idea. I mean, this is, like, again, all speculation. But I still think we would have some control if we were aware. I really believe that. I don't think that they would be like, this one's going to be sick and this one's going to die at the age of 5 and this one's going to be this. And this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't think that that's how that would work. Not that I'm right, but I don't think that's how it would work.
Yeah, it's all about the understanding. I don't know for sure what's what either. I'm just kind of like theorizing myself also too. So.
Yep. I get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way to know. And I'm not going to tell anyone if they're wrong. Like, I'm going to tell you you're wrong if you tell me that I'm wrong. Like that you're right and I'm wrong. I'm like, no. You're wrong there for telling me I'm wrong. But you're not wrong for thinking that it's a simulation. If you think it's a simulation, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. These are all theories. We have no way to prove any of them. It's just, I don't think I'll ever, unless I have concrete proof we're in a simulation, like a dream like you had, or an experience like you had. Like, if it was a true experience, and that happened to me, then maybe I could. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, there's no way I could believe it's a simulation.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
would say to you, why didn't you let us all out?
Why did you let us all
I'm
out?
kidding.
That's what you said?
I'm kidding. Yeah.
Oh. Oh well. When I got about the pod, it was free. You know, mine was just there was no top on it. I was able to get up or whatever. Maybe I shouldn't say that because other people probably wake up if it's what I think it is. But anyway, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
I was just joking. I was just ready to cough at the same time, so I had to mute real quick. I was just kidding.
Gotcha.
Everjoss says your channel looks awesome. Can't wait to go check it out.
Thank you.
I can't see your comment with the link. Can you drop it in the chat again? Propagate.
Gotcha.
Okay, I didn't know if you were talking and muted again. There we go. So this is his new channel, which I'm going to add in the description, but I can't do that until after the show. It won't let me edit while we're live. So it's in the chat. It will be in the description after the show. But right now, it's in the chat. If you want to go check it out and subscribe really quick, please do. And the last question I have before the Q&A is, do you believe people in this reality are more hostile, angry, rude, or even possibly evil? Like, do you believe that compared to your original reality or past realities, that they're more angry, hostile, or even possibly evil?
All
Like, are
right,
you
drum roll.
experiencing that?
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Drum roll. Here we go. Excuse me, my voice. All right. All right. Before I was known about the Mandela effect, I think I'm hearing some background there. Did you want to say something?
Oh, no. Didn't mute. Go ahead.
Okay. Before I even heard about the Mandela effect, I was a teenager, you know what I mean? And so around that time, I think a lot of us teenagers go through the same thing. I think where we think we know everything, and then we think that our parents are being mean to us, or this person's being mean, or we go through moments with friends or whatever. I've been through all of that, you know, and so I've been through the motions of feeling, thinking that people are mean, whatever. And plus, I'm usually a quiet person, staying to myself, so I've been through some episodes before I was Mandela affected, so-called, you know. But it seems like there is a little bit of a difference now. Maybe it's perspective. Maybe because I'm at a different understanding of reality. Uh, Maybe from that perspective, I'm noticing um, other things a little bit differently, I guess. Or maybe, like you said earlier, maybe it's something trying to stop us. So maybe uh, whatever it is, it doesn't like us. I don't know if there's something there or not, but maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's what's going on. Go ahead.
In my experience, like, family members used to be open to hearing about the Mandela effect, and now they get a lot more upset than they used to. They don't want to hear it anymore, and I didn't talk to them all the time about it. It was just like Mom used to answer the questions that I'd ask her. And now she's like, I don't even want to hear about it like that. Like she just shuts off immediately. And like I see people in general. Now it is probably because I live in a city, but there's more road rage. There's more, just like people don't smile anymore. It's weird. Like people like I used to, even in Philly, I used to walk up the street and a stranger would walk past me and they'd look up and smile. They don't do that anymore. They they just don't. I don't. The people are very distrustful. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know. So that's why I throw that question in there, because I have noticed more hostility, more anger. Um, like this anger is building up in society, and I don't know if that's to do with politics or the Mandela effect, but something's wrong here. I feel like something's wrong. That's the way I describe it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I
Oh, go
okay.
on.
I say something. Okay, I just want to
Yep.
top on that real quick, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
Of course not. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah. So it's not the 80s. It's not the 90s. You know, I guess it also is perspective. You know, how was those times for you? You know, did you have more bad times, more good times, whatever the case is? And then when you're dealing with news items that come out, we have the internet where things that can be accessed for, so you get a lot more sometimes of certain stuff, or you can access things dealing with drama if you want to. There's more drama TV shows maybe out there now. Um, you're getting more news about people doing things that they shouldn't be doing, or looting, you know, stuff like that. So maybe some people are distrusting of people, certain people now. I guess we just went through a thing, right? What was it 2019? So nobody could go outside. So it's just like,
2020. Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
there you go. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That the way you said it is perfect. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and having to wear those things, I think, change people as well. That may be why they don't look up and smile anymore. I don't know. You could be
I don't
absolutely
know.
right.
I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Just a top on that just real fast. I don't know. You know, 'cause it's just a piece of fabric. I mean,
But it covered the mouth. It covered the smile. It covered the face. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
and
I
then
heard
the
somebody.
accepting. Oh, it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, yes, it's okay. I was just gonna say, and maybe they don't even think to smile anymore because it was covered for so long. That's all I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you know, and then it's just like I think it's more. I think I'll get a background a little bit. Is that you or me? Is
Oh, that's the fan. Go ahead.
okay. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Um, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So it could be perspective. I think, you know, how a person takes something, how they respond to certain stuff. You know, I don't think everybody's the same. You know, some people, like for instance, some people may decide to continue to do that, and then you have those other people be like, they're an idiot, or they're trained to do that, so they're just doing it because of what someone else said to do, to do it. But maybe they're doing it for a different reason, or maybe they just they're comfortable with it. Maybe it's just something different. I mean, you know what I mean? Maybe it's just what they decide to do is probably not exactly why you think they're doing it.
That could be it as well. That's a good point. I don't know. Ed Hen says that it's just economics and inflation bothering folks now and bad leadership. But I'm talking about like road rages. People are just like, it's like they have a shorter fuse anymore about everything and anything. People have a shorter fuse. I've noticed that. Like they're more likely to go from like you know like it does come down to politics a lot, where people don't want to talk about things they don't. It seems like people don't want to talk about things they don't agree with. Okay, and they can go from like 0 to 60 so fast, and I don't remember it being like that ever. And I did notice it well before 2020, and but it's been very bad. And it probably is, what Ed Hen is saying. It's making it much worse. But it could also be just we're in another reality where people are quicker to anger, or annoy, or upset. But I've seen it in my own family. That's what makes me concerned. I've seen it in my own family, where people just, I don't know, they're just not the same. And there's like an angrier aspect to them, which was not there 5-10 years ago. That's why I added that question. Okay, so now we're at the question and answer portion. And I don't think we have anything to play that's not copyright free. Unless, Prop, you have something that's copyright free?
It's not ready. It's not ready yet. I just did it today, so I appreciate that. But I'll ship it off to you, see what you think about it, and I'll let you know about the copyrights then. And I guess we'll go over it because there's a little something to it. You will get you probably get like a notice, but it says you can still use it. But what I use is once it says that they allow you to get the copyright taken off of there. So
yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that because that will remove the chat. That was what I was talking about.
No. Let's say. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, if I have to do anything to the video at all, if I get a copyright notice and it says I can trim it, mute it, whatever, that takes the chat away. Chat's gone.
Yeah, I know, because I've dealt with this before too. But what I'm saying is that let's say you played a song on air right now, right? And let's say you got a notice on your thing and it says it's a soft copyright strike. The owner allows you to use it, so it's not a strike. But what I have, it allows you to take that soft copyright off of there, so it won't be anything on there at all. Is what I'm saying.
How do you do that?
There's like a little thing, a search bar this website has where I got the music from, and you place the link to your broadcast in there, and you press enter, and then it will say, "Congratulations, the copyright is now free. You don't have the copyright no more." So.
Oh, if you can do that, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, as long as it doesn't make me have to edit the video through the YouTube studio, then we're okay. But yeah, if you want to play it, send me the link, and I'll give them time to ask any questions if they have questions they want to ask. Because right now I only have 1, 2, 3 questions from the chat so far. And guys, pinned at the top, I ask that you use Q : and then the question, so I know you're asking him a question. If you guys have any more questions. If not, we'll just get right to those. But I figured we'd take like a 2-minute break, listen to music, and let you think about, like, write anything down.
And as I said earlier, the song is ready, but I'm gonna prepare it now to see if I can have it ready for this stream before we.
Okay, are you able to play the song? Because if not, you're going to have to send it to Jeff. Or I'm going to have to send it to Jeff, because I can't present anything on the screen.
Okay, well it's not pertinent at the moment, but I'll prepare it. I can't play it on this end, can I? I can't share a screen, I don't think.
Are you on a phone or a computer?
Right now I'm on the phone.
Okay, so you're going to send it to me, and then I'll send it to Jeff with his computer, and he can present the song on screen.
Okay, I see what I could do.
Yep. Oh wait, I can add
Oh,
this. No, I can add music. I didn't know I could add music to StreamYard.
oh yeah, I can send you an MP3, so I should be done with that in a hot second. I don't have to make it
Yeah, I
into a
can.
video.
Yeah, I can add. I can add the music, and we could just uh, mute up. Let's see. What's your idea, Parody Bear? Jency says, "Tag, you're it." Ed Hen says, "A hot second is nowhere near as fast as a New York minute." The New York minute. Excuse me.
Oh, speaking of
Jared, you.
minute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. I apologize.
You're fine. You're fine. Go ahead.
Speaking of minute, daylight savings time. Are you familiar with that one?
Yes, it was savings for me, 100%.
Oh, okay, cool. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. JRG Mighty says, people feel deception, but they are venting their anger on each other. That's the evil part. Oh, welcome, Go-Kart Bob. I didn't see you sneak in. And Go-Kart Bob says it's all going to change very soon. That's the message I've been receiving. And now I can say, Parody Bear, I don't know if you saw my message. If you can email me the link to the song, I can play it on the next show. Even if it has a copyright, it's no big deal. I could just remove it. I just don't want to lose this chat because of the questions and stuff like that. Jedsy just says people are mean. It's interesting that you threw in doctors. I agree 1,000,000% on that. Jedsy says parents, adults, and doctors were different. Doctors. I agree 100%. I feel like some of my doctors are cowards now. They know they're harming patients, but because they're scared of repercussions, they don't stand up for their patients anymore like they would have. Ed Hen says road rage is understandable too. I was getting, I guess I could say pissed off, at work today. Too darn windy, and the bag was flying every which way. And I was just cleaning the park. Wait. And do you like burritos? I love burritos. I haven't had. Let's. All right. Let's put it this way. I've never been to Chipotle because it's not. It just when my car was totaled is when I realized there was one that had opened up nearby. So I couldn't go there anymore to that area. And then the Taco Bell, I miss Taco Bell. I've never really had authentic. Like I've never gone to a Mexican restaurant, but you know, I still love Taco Bell's burritos, and I miss Taco Bell. I got Jim's question. Oh, that's your question, Ed? I'll add it. Jency, I would say in my area, they sit on their laptops all day. They have like a laptop on like one of those rolling desks. My doctors, with the exception of one, they send a fellow or an intern in first who asks all the questions. And then my doctor just comes in and says, so you doing okay? Okay, I'm going to fill your script, and then leaves. I see him for like 10 seconds. I am unaware of that song. It's possible that they removed it from the app. So it may still exist, but it may not be on the app anymore. We'd have to look into that one. I'm going to take a screenshot, Parody Bear. I'll look into it. Gency, in the United States, people, it's first of all, each state is different. And some are really young. And if they have the parents' permission, like there's been some cases where terminally ill kids, like 13, 14, 15, have gotten permission and have gotten married at 13, 14 because they were not going to live very long, unfortunately. So there are exceptions to the rules. But yes, I do recall, because we only lived like, I heard we only lived like 30, 35 years old before the advancements of medicine, modern medicine, that people got married at like 14, 15 years old back in the day. And there's still some cultures that do. There are still some cultures that they get married at 13, 14. Oh, that's sad. Taco Bell is not good anymore. I haven't had Taco Bell in a couple of years. Like years. Now I want a hard shell taco. Well, now you have my brain thinking of it, Ed, so thanks. Well, they're sending someone in who, a fellow is already a doctor. But in the United States, they need the experience before they can go out and start practicing on their own. So a fellow is sent in to practice. You're basically you are practice for them. And then the doctor verifies their diagnosis and their opinions or corrects them and then comes in and talks to you that's how it's called a teaching hospital, Jency. That's what they call it here. A teaching hospital. And my doctors are associated with the teaching hospital, so the doctors have students and fellows that they are taking under their wing to teach, whether they're already doctors or still in school. I will say phones irreparably changed our society, and I don't think they changed it for the better at all. I really don't. Like cell phones, I should be more specific. I mean, car phones. Car phones were the gateway drug to cell phones. Parents needing to know where their kids were at every moment of every second of every day. I think it even let kids, made kids more irresponsible because mommy and daddy were always checking up on them. in some ways, and in some ways, yeah, you know, but my generation was the first to have kids with cell phones, and I think we screwed up. I think my generation screwed up. That's true parody there. In this reality, everything seems to have toxins. Everything can kill you. Everything. Every time you look, it's something else. Or it gives you cancer, it's what they'll say. Yep, everything is poison. I know, Ed, that's a Mandela. I know. They lived till their 80s back then. I know. And then there's reports of people living in other countries into their hundreds. But in my past, you know, like the Oregon Trail, they died of dysentery and stuff like that. They only lived in their 30s or their 40s. And now that doesn't seem to be the case unless you go back like centuries, like before Christ. It's ridiculous. Oh, it was sent to my email. Let me check.
Email.
Okay, let me see if I can do this. Oh, it's a link. Let's see if I can download it. Guys,
Well, it looked like I went ahead and that was the whole plan to boot her off the screen. That's why I sent that. No, I'm joking.
it's going to kick me out of the stream. It's going to. So you guys have to talk. I will be back. It will kick me out of the stream. If there's questions, please hold them off until I return because the chat disappears on me. Like I can only go back to 11:49 and it's 11:56. So please hold off on your questions if you have questions until you see me back here. I'll be right back, guys. And Jeff and Prop, you guys please talk while I'm gone. I'll be back.
Yeah, Jeff. Are you familiar with Sally's Beauty Supply?
Yes.
So I'm assuming that you're familiar with that whole thing, huh?
Yeah. Teresa, I covered that for Teresa like a long time ago. That was probably like 2019.
Yeah, it's Sally now.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. I don't know what's going on. I know I have personal experiences that I'm probably gonna just hold back from even going there. Like I said, I
No,
wake up.
we want to hear
them.
We share ours. Everybody shares theirs. It's interesting. I've had plenty.
Oh, so what are you referring to? Are you referring to like out the box topic type stuff?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I've been having those NDE people on. Like I was saying earlier, because I think it all connects. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything that we see going on, it's all connected somehow.
Yeah, I mean it's all reality, right? It's all part of
Mhm.
reality. So why not? You know, a psychic ability. Some people say things against that, and I'm thinking you're a Mandela affected person. I don't like to use that phrase, but it is what it is, right? I'm like, well, how can you judge this person when you bring up the Mandela effect to someone that's not familiar, and they give you these weird responses that you don't like. So how come we don't have an open mind, at least to this person over here speaking about something else that's out the box? You know, maybe you don't, you're not familiar with it, but it doesn't mean that they're not psychic. You know.
Yeah, I like, people with open minds. It drives me nuts when they don't have it. I can't talk to people like that. It gets me very frustrated, which is another reason why I enjoy this community so much. The people in this community, they have open minds. They know something's going on. They want to talk about it. I can't stand people who live in their own little box and only pay attention to what they want to pay attention to, and they're not open to new ideas, new theories, new stories, whatever. So I like hearing all kinds of different things. And especially, if you had personal experiences that are interesting, that are related to this, that's the kind of thing I want to hear about for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Me too. That's what made. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, I shared all mine with you guys when I was on your stream. All the ones I could remember at the time, anyway. There's been a lot more since then that I've shared.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
We are going to take a. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to tell you. I think it was 2 minutes. 1 second. I'll tell you exactly.
Sounds like she's at an amusement park or something there, huh?
Oh my gosh, what just happened? Wow, look at that. We lost Propagate.
Oh, no.
I'm going to email him. Give me 1 minute. Come back. Okay. So, really quickly, I'm making sure I didn't miss any questions. I don't think I see any more questions.
Nope.
Okay. So I do have his music ready, but I want him to be here for it.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear it.
Ed Hen says Jeff just awkwardly glaring at us.
What else is new? At least I'm awake.
Yeah. Jency said staring contest.
Got to tell you something. The last couple nights, I have felt like myself again, and it's been great. I'm not tired all the time anymore. I have energy again. I hope this lasts.
I hope it lasts for you too.
Because I've been going through a tough time the past few months where I haven't felt like myself. I felt sick a lot, and I felt tired all the time, and I'm a little bit better now.
Good. Really quickly. Good night, Ed. Thank you for being here. Have a great night.
Jency makes a good point there. Maybe I am shifting again.
You could be. But Ed Head says, night, y'all. Be safe. God bless y'all. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Good night, Ed Head.
If so, he's been shifting like nonstop for 2 months. I do know that Propagate was on a public Wi-Fi, so
Mhm.
there is a good chance that Wi-Fi dropped out. So, oh wait, I have to restart my device. There we go. He's in the chat. Thank goodness. It's okay. We're waiting for you. That's not good though. I didn't even see the having issues at the bottom, and my stylus was resting against it, and the stupid chat box popped up, and now it won't go away. Hey Jeff,
Yeah.
can you do a shout out with people you can see live or even come back so I can make this? The help box is right on top of the comment box. I can't write a comment.
Okay.
Man, so many issues. I hate this. I'll be back.
Look at me so far here, but I'll do what I can.
Thank you very much. And well, you can't see him, so I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. We had Ed Hen. We have LVK, Parody Bear, Jim from Florida. John Nada was here. Teresa was here. Propagate This Light. Me, Sandy. V was here. Virtual Reality Witness. Red Storm. Let's see who else we got. LVK. I don't know if I said LVK yet. Damien G. Jim from Florida. Damien G. Did I just say Damien G twice? Probably.
And really quickly, Jeff already knows about Mr. Rogers. He was the first one I talked to about Mr. Rogers. Go on.
Okay. Mustard Seed of Faith was here. Sophia Green. Gen C, of course. Noise Guru. Analog Lime.
John Nada was here
Ryu
earlier.
Mikado. Yeah, I said John Nada. Really wish I could say his name.
Ryu Gami.
Ryugamine Mikado. There we go. Hopefully I said that right.
Ever Josh is still here.
Ever Josh, show 8. Yeah. That's everybody I could see so far.
It was really good to see some of you in the chat again. I know we go on late, and a lot of you can't make the late show, so it was good, really good to see some of you that haven't been here in a while.
Yeah. JRGMTY.
I say JRG 90.
Okay. Go Kart Bob.
Go Kart Bob said he was away this weekend. That is good news. That means he's feeling better.
Good. Mr. Super Sidewinder was here. Adam Price. Splatter. Didn't say him yet. Joner Games.
Yep.
That's everybody I can see.
Well, as soon as Prop gets back, I'll ask him the questions I have for him. And then we're going to cover Airglow again, because Jeff missed the presentation, and Propagate has never seen it. And I know some of you haven't seen it, because unless you watched the live show and replay, you weren't at the live show, so I don't know. But, and maybe we'll cover one or two more, if what Propagate wants to see. And then we'll call it a night.
Yeah. It's my birthday where you are, Sandy.
It's already the 18th.
Yeah.
It's 7 minutes. Happy birthday, Jeff.
Thanks.
Thank you for pointing out it's midnight.
I still got about an hour left here.
Yeah, but you were born over here, so you're.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. It's your birthday.
Yeah.
Hold
Thank
up.
you. See?
No. Wait, hold on. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Yay! Happy birthday, Deb.
Thanks. Oh, thank you, Splatter. And Gen C.
Yeah, I wasn't even looking at the time. And you know what? Earlier I said if we're still on at 12. I wasn't looking at the time. Oh my goodness. Hey, Propagate is back. Hello, welcome back.
Oh my goodness, that was so weird. I finally got in. My mic wasn't working and I had to restart my phone. Oh my goodness, it was so crazy. Sorry about that. I apologize.
It's not your fault. We have tech issues all the time. It's okay. We understand.
Okay, I thought you pressed something and just booted me out. I'm just joking.
No. Nope. I just left the screen. Came back
Yeah, I
and you
got you.
weren't here.
Okay.
All right. So we just played Happy Birthday for Jeff. And now we're going to play your song. And this is the last chance. If anybody has any questions for Prop during the song, put it in the chat. And after the song, we're going to ask the questions. Jeff, if you can, while we're playing the song, can you go into Flickr and pull up the Airglow one? And then
Yeah.
I'll okay, so get it ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Start presenting. I'll do that.
Can I introduce a song?
Yes,
Can I introduce it?
Of course.
Okay, first, happy birthday to Jeff. Happy birthday.
Thanks, Prop.
When was your birthday today?
It's today, yeah.
10 minutes ago. He was born on the East Coast, so it was 10 minutes ago. Sorry, 10 minutes ago.
Oh, okay, for sure. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
So this is a song I just created today, just for fun. It's nothing like I want to put out on the circuit or anything, just for fun. I'm not sure how it's going to sound, but you'll be the first to hear it before I even put it out, just to see what people think. All right, it's called Boba, B-O-B-A.
Awesome intro. And here we're gonna everyone mute up because I don't think it mutes automatically.
If it tastes good, it's boba. I'm all up in my drink, taking sips, allocating that boba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. If it tastes good, it's boba. I'm all up in my drink, taking sips, allocating that boba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It makes me oh yeah like the hook. No plotting like a crook, I'd rather sip me boba. I'm sitting like a book. No pages turned in, no less learning. I'm all up in my cup, no syrup in. My lips straight simping, no simping. You should have got you one. They closed now, I got a 2-for-1. Now and later like a mint. This drink is heaven sent. It was only $4.70. Tapioca pearls, straight from the sea, floral aroma. From my jasmine tea, no milk, got me singing like silk. There's a meeting in my bedroom and it's goody like Big Hip. Yeah. If it tastes good, it's boba. I'm all up in my drink, taking sips, allocating that boba. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. If it tastes good, it's boba. I'm all up in my drink, taking sips, allocating that boba. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Just real fast. Oh yeah. No need to stress. If I nick my face, I don't speak cannons. All in my space, I just need that boba to set me free. Like a leg theft, I will take a knee. All up in my pocket, I will stop time like Rocket. No jam, she's making the drink. No T-Pain in my locket, she's finito. Yeah, I brought the drink, and it looks good, like Tyra Banks.
Playing again? Or
Nice.
is there more?
No, starting over. You could stop it.
That was good.
Okay.
So wait, I have a question to ask. So the music, do you make the music, or do you find the music and then write it to go with the music?
Well, that's what I did today. I just found the music and I just wrote something to it.
That's what I was asking. Okay. Because I was going back to Smokey the Bear. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to hear the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It was a man's excuse for Smokey the Bear. But that was really good.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Okay.
sharing it with us.
For sure. A little something I put together.
Do you mind if we play it like on other shows, or should I remove it? Will it get a copyright back?
Oh yeah, you can play it if you like. And if you get a soft copyright, it won't be a copyright strike. I'll give you the link where you could delete the copyright, so you'll be clear.
Sounds great. Thank you.
For sure.
Okay.
Thanks for explaining.
No problem. I have questions for you though. These are from the chat. You ready?
Yep, like Tevin Campbell, I'm ready.
There we go. So John Nada asks, are there any big Mandela effects you don't agree with or are not affected by?
Don't trip. I'm sitting at the bench in court, just like thinking of the answer as they ask me. When I say the right thing here.
It's okay. Take your time.
No. Any big ones that I don't. I wouldn't say some that I don't agree with. I'll probably say some that I'm not familiar with, like land mass changes, things like that. I'm not too familiar with those, so I can't really say.
Okay, but I'm talking about like you're not affected by, like you have the current memory on. Like for example, Costco. I have the current memory because I never knew about beforehand, but there are still ones today that I cover for other people that I'm not affected by. I have the current memory. Is there any large Mandela effects like Bernstein Bears, J.C. Penney, Uncle Sam's hat? So any big Mandela effects or the original Mandela effects that you have the current memory on? Are there any like that? That's what I think he's asking.
No, I'll just say with Bernstein Bears. I don't have a current memory with that either. Let me see. Why did I bring that up? It was something else I think I have a current memory of, but I don't totally. I would just say no. I'll just say no.
Okay.
I don't have. Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's okay. But I will say something to that Bernstein Bear thing. I found out in the community, remember how I was telling you it's rarely two things? Well, Bernstein Bears has a third reality where people remember Bernstein, not Berenstein. So I just want to throw it in there because that also has three realities now. Bernstein, which it appears that was Bernstein before it was Berenstein, because it seems those born like a decade before me are more likely to remember Bernstein than people my age. Does that make sense? Like also, like as if it was incremental. Like it was Bernstein, Berenstein, then Berenstain. You understand?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
I should be putting these on the screen. So that was John Nada's question. Sorry about that, guys. Next question is from Sophia Green. What do you think about near-death experiences? And you did touch on this a little bit, but do you have anything more to add to it?
I lean on it. I never had a near-death experience myself, but I've had a number of out-of-body experiences. So it's interesting to hear people that claim that they've had more experiences. And I just pick from it, what I'm familiar with. And then I have an open mind to it because I've had the out-of-body experiences. So I think they're experiencing what they say they're experiencing. I really do.
Okay, the next question is from Artsy909. Have you experienced any glitches in the Matrix other than the Mandela effect? Just glitches that were not Mandelas?
It depends on what we refer to as glitches. Can you break down what you would say glitches?
Okay, so we've been doing a segment on the show where we show anything outside of the Mandela effect that's considered like paranormal, like glitches, ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot. I mean, anything that falls under not Mandela. Okay, and the glitches we've been showing, for example, one woman who had her nails done. She had all of her nails on her fingers, and she claims, because I mean, she could have had the set done twice. That's a possibility. We usually try to, like, not to, well, yeah, we kind of debunk some of them, but a lot of times we just try to find a rational explanation for them. But, like, she found a nail on the ground, but all 10 were still on her fingers. Or one we looked at last night, a person was sitting in their car and they had a very distinctive, like very colorful, like almost like a paisley stripe pattern cover on their steering wheel, and then a tarot card for strength, air freshener. And the car parked next to them had the exact same wheel cover and air freshener in their car. So it was very odd. It's not like, it's like a common thing you'd see, and they have the exact setup inside their car. So that would be like a glitch. Or another kind we show is where like someone walks outside and all the cars parked are all white and the same car. That's weird. Like stuff like that. Have you ever experienced any glitches in the Matrix other than Mandela effect?
Yeah, actually, I have been wanting to speak on it. So yeah, I was given a ride to these two guys once, and then when we got to the destination, before I let them out the car, I was saying this in my head. I said, okay, I want to say goodbye to them, but I want to be sure I say goodbye to both of them, not just one of them, one of the guys. So I said it in my head. In my head, I said, this is how I'm going to say it. I'm going to say, all right, y'all, see y'all later, or something like that, right? So stop the vehicle. The guy on my left started to get out, and then as he gets out, he goes, all right, y'all, see you later. And then I stop, he stops, and then he realizes that he says, like, he said he didn't even know why he said that. And I didn't tell him that I was thinking about it. I didn't tell him that I was thinking about it, so that's weird.
Yeah, that's crazy weird. That's almost like telepathy, like he heard you say it, even though you didn't say it.
Yeah, but why? Yeah,
Good.
but why would he say it? All right, see y'all later. But he's one of the y'alls that I'm referring to.
I know, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. I have no explanation for it. That's crazy. That is crazy. I can't see the chat and the questions at the same time, so I'm going over. But JRG Money says, "Wow, that is a good one."
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Super Mario Brothers, can see you. Just he said bye too. That's crazy. Okay. Jim from Florida asks, what are Prop's biggest music Mandelas that you've noticed?
Okay, there's this rap group called the Fushnikins. Used to kind of be more. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, here's some noise in the background. I think that's you, Jeff. I think.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's all good. Sound like you're in a sauna, man. You know, I'm player hating. No.
He's got an echoey house, I think. It's an echo, like, you know, like you're in a big room. That's all.
Okay. So first off, we have Crisscross. So Crisscross, a rap group back in the 90s. Um, they had two S's for being on the name. Now it has one. Um, there's this rap group called the Fushnikins. I used to even be in contact with the guy that's in that group. He has dreads. So if you want to look them up, in the future, anybody listening, the Fushnikins. Okay, maybe you had never heard of them. Maybe you don't know how to spell their name.
I
Okay.
listen to them.
Okay, Lash Move, huh? You know about Lash Move?
Lash Move. I'm a true Fushnik. What's up, Doc? With Shaq.
There you go. That's what I was gonna say. Shaq O'Neal was in that group. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I used to be in contact with the guy that has the dreads. I used to always talk to him.
That's awesome.
But yeah. I've been talking to a couple of people back in the day. But okay, so their name to me was the Fushnikins, but now it's just Fushnikins. And so that's the way I remember it with the in their name.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, thank you for saying that. So I'm happy I'm talking to you, because nobody could ever tell me, about that.
Yeah, if it's about hip hop, and as long as it's not current hip hop, if it's about like hip hop from that era, then I'm going to know all about it.
Okay, amazing. Also with yeah, we could definitely talk about that too. But it's amazing what was said in the chat that Crisscross was looked up and now has two S's. What?
Yeah,
It
and the
has-
old Mandela effect was that some people don't remember the K's, and I thought the S was covered as well, and now it flip flopped back to two S's. That's insane.
It was always two S's in the second part, cross. It used to be two S's in Chris. Now it's one. I have residue for two all over the place. My iTunes, everywhere.
Interesting.
So you're saying that one name was one S, the other was two?
Now it's one S, the other is two. I remember two S's for Chris and Cross. And I have residue of that. Even in my iTunes on the songs I have by them, which is pretty much every single song they did, it says Crisscross with two S's on both.
So you're saying that you have a single right now that like a physical copy or something that you could look
The
at?
physical copies changed. My digital versions didn't.
The digital versions of the name is what you're saying.
Yes, it still says Chris Cross with two S's, Chris, two S's on my iTunes when I uploaded them years ago.
So it says that on the file, or does it show artwork that says that?
On the file, on the artwork, it changed.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah,
That's so crazy. I'm almost getting chills off of this one. Wow. Because it had two S's. So in the chat, always K here, Crisscross. It's two S's in Crisscross. Yeah. But they also put one S for Chris and two for Cross.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it is now.
that is so crazy. That is so crazy. Because I could have sworn it changed to just one S for both.
No, not that I ever saw. There's another one, Belle Biv DeVoe. That one is one of my biggest Mandela effects, actually. I remember Belle Biv DeVoe, B-E-L, Biv DeVoe. Now it's B-E-L-L. And I have residue for BEL on my iTunes also.
I think I have a folder on that one.
In fact, more interesting than that, I have a CD, a compilation CD of hip hop songs from that time. It still says BEL on the CD, but on their CDs, no, it says BELL.
You should get it and send it to me and show it in the residue folder, because
I
I do
will.
have a presentation on that. That and I think it's in the same folder with Boys to Men, Fully High Harmony. I don't remember it all one word. And I don't remember Boys to Men. I think it's merged. There's something wrong with it. I have to look at it. I covered that in 2018, so I have to look at it. It's old. I did make a folder of it in 2019, but I don't remember. But I don't remember Fully High Harmony, all one word like that, smushed together.
I don't think I do either, actually. That's a change for me, yeah.
The last question is going to be a tough one. Okay, Prop, so prepare yourself.
Okay,
You
I'm gonna
ready?
eat my spinach. Yeah, I'm gonna eat my spinach. Hold on a second. Hold on. Crack it open real quick. Okay.
Ed
All
Hen
right,
says, do you or do you not eat burritos? All he could think about was burritos, so he wanted to ask you to eat burritos.
Well, let me say, usually I will have a burrito or two, throughout the week. But due to age, I decided to change my diet. To control my blood pressure, and to control my cholesterol was a little bit high, so I had to stop eating meat for a while. So yeah, I would have a burrito, here and there. I actually, at a restaurant that I go to, I asked for a burrito a certain way. We're gonna actually put that on the menu, like the way that I wanted it, and we gave it a name. But the director or the owner was like, whatever. But when I go there, I ask for it, and nobody else in the world is because it's not on the menu. So something that I asked for, they know how to fix it. And it's a burrito. It's fixing the burrito a certain type of way. Anyway, so I'll just throw it out there. But yeah, I had to stop eating meat, so I haven't eaten burrito in a while. And actually, I really want one now. But thank you for that.
Yeah. Also on the screen, is that how it's spelled? Noise Guru says the Schnickens. Was Foo Schnickens separate like that? Or is it all one word?
Let's see. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that looks about right. I thought it was maybe a dash in the middle of Foo and Schnickens.
Speaking of,
I remember
Run DMC. Jeff, you can present because you didn't get the presentation up. Can you do me a favor? Can you go to Google and type in Run DMC? And then present your screen on Google. Or DuckDuckGo or wherever you use.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because Run DMC is huge for me. It's so wrong. I covered it a while ago. I want to know what you remember, Prop. If you remember this.
Is it bad meaning good or good meaning bad? No, I'm just joking. They said that in the song. Run DMC, I love it.
I remember Run DMC. Yeah.
Were you going to show something regarding Run DMC?
Yeah, except now he has the presentation up. Yeah. You're sharing the wrong window.
Oh, okay.
Jeff.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find something here.
Okay. Yeah, that's the issue right there. I don't remember that.
And the Backstreet Boys was always the Backstreet Boys for me. I think I brought that up before.
Yeah, and yeah, there's so many. There's so many. I even found the Jefferson Airplane, which is so wrong.
And also George Michael's. I think you probably covered that one. The rag in his back pocket.
Oh no, you mean Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, yeah. Gotta have faith. No, the one that says gotta have faith.
Oh no, wait.
Oh,
No,
wait a
I
minute.
didn't.
Maybe I'm wrong. Who
Yeah,
that
Bruce
is?
Springsteen was the one with, he had the rag in his pocket. Now he has the baseball cap. I'm born in the USA.
But is
Oh,
there
okay.
a Mandela with gotta have faith? With faith?
No, I just had the wrong person.
Okay. I remember the Fat Boys and Disorderlies in 1987. I do. I remember that movie.
Oh yeah, I had that movie on DVD and tape.
And Prop is correcting himself. It was George Michael, not Michaels. Yeah. So, okay, that's still not right. That's more like residue. I just wanted you to go to Google, search their name so you could see what it is now. That's good that's residue, though.
Yeah, I have that CD and it still says it like that too.
Yeah, I don't remember the dash at all, though. The hyphen? I don't remember that.
I do.
I don't remember the hyphen.
So what did you want to see?
I want to
Oh,
see
there's
the
a hyphen?
periods that are there. There's a hyphen and periods. So let me get on. See, this is not showing what Google shows. Yeah, you're not going to see it. It's not going to show it. I want to see like the actual band name. And this is just showing you albums. Here, how about we do it this way, Jeff? I'll Google it and I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
Google, not Yahoo. I'm reading the chat. That's funny.
Jeff doesn't like to use Google. That's the problem. But
I use
Google is what I need to show what I'm talking about.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got you.
And as soon as these pictures decide to load, there you go, Jeff. You should have it in Messenger.
All right, give me a minute.
Yep.
I like your avatar, Sandy.
Thank you. It's like the third iteration. The first one was just a statue in a garden. And then it was the statue
Yeah.
I made the background. And now my face is on it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Wait a minute. You said which one's your face on? The last one?
On the statue. I have it on the statue.
I'm trying to see.
Oh, I know it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard for me to see it. Let me see.
It's tiny. There we go.
Okay, I see
All
it
right,
now. Nice.
Nice. So it is run dash D period N period C period. I don't remember it like that. I just remember run DMC, no punctuation. That is so weird. I saw it on MTV like that in an old MTV video, and I'm like, no way, stop.
Oh, you
I don't
talking?
remember
Okay,
it
so
like that.
you're saying that that's really like that right now with that dash in there.
Yes.
No, that can't be. No, I don't. Well, Jeff said he recalls it like that. I don't recall it like that.
I
don't
recall the
either.
dash. I don't recall the dots there.
And together, so you don't recall the hyphen, he doesn't recall the dots, and I don't recall either of them. It was just run DMC, nothing else. And there is residue. There's some without the dots, there's some without the hyphen, but their official name is that.
No, it can't be that. Is that on their page or something? No.
Yes. I did a whole folder on it.
Oh, this is crazy. Wow.
I did a whole presentation. Even Wikipedia drops the dots, but it still has the hyphen.
Yeah, I missed that presentation. You always come up with some new ones, but this, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I just did a rap song on here too, and you're showing me rapper, so it all works. So it's cool.
And for JRG Mighty, it was all dots. R period, U period, N period, D period, N period, C period. That was hard to say. All right, so now we're going to get to the presentation that Jeff missed and Prop missed, and some of you probably already saw. And I already gave it away because I told you what it is, but you got to see it. That's why I'm showing it to you. You have to see this. It's nuts. Here we go. Jeff, would you like to read since you weren't here? Oh, what were you going to say, Prop? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, but I didn't mean to. Just a quick insert. This is a real epic show. This is. I've seen some shows that says this is an epic stream, blah blah blah. No, this is an epic one. All right, thank you. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. It's okay. All right, Jeff, do you want to read it?
Yeah. All right. I've covered Mandela effects concerning the Aurora Borealis Australis at least 3 times over the course of my 6 years researching the Mandela effect. So it continues to amaze me when I come across something completely new, things that were never in my search results the previous times I researched this. Yes or no? Have you ever heard of curled, crimped, zigzag rope type Aurora Borealis?
So chat, if you've seen this one, just answer what you originally answered. Do you ever recall seeing curled, crimped, zigzag, rope type Aurora Borealis? Not the picture you're seeing here. Not that type of curl. Like a rope. And I already know what Jeff's answer is. So propagate. Have you ever seen photos or in real life Aurora Borealis? It's in a rope shape that's curled, crimped, or zigzag.
No, I haven't.
So Jency says no. Michael Russon, hey, says no. Adam for Christ says no. We can go on. Yeah, Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, I was reading. I was on mute. I didn't
realize. Oh, okay.
All right. First of all, I do not remember ever seeing a rope Aurora Borealis, but to see it crimped like this is nuts. They do claim it's exceedingly rare. Is this type of aurora new for you?
I've also never seen an aurora make a rainbow shape. That's weird. So again, I've never seen an aurora in person, only on the internet. But I've researched it 3 times. Actually, I've been doing research for 6 years, but I did my first Aurora Borealis presentation was probably only 3 years ago. So in the last 3 years, I have researched this extensively, and I've never seen anything like this stuff. JRG Mighty says, heck no. And Noise Guru says, California Uber or Alice. 100% no for Gen Z.
Where did the pictures come from?
The internet. That's what I said. You got to take the internet with a grain of salt. But it was all over the news too, because they're saying it's rare. I'm saying it never existed until now.
Well, you also got to take the news with a grain of salt.
Yep. Yeah, this is the nutty part I need to show you guys.
Now on to something so ridiculous that I will be mind blown if any of you have ever heard of this. Looking for images of the curled aurora rope, I came across something that I have never heard of before. And when I saw what it can look like, all I could think was, this is some of the best proof that I've ever seen that this isn't our Earth. Do not Google. I want to hear what you remember, not what Google tells you. And if you say yes, you also need to tell me what it is. Yes or no. Have you ever heard of air glow?
So again, I know I already mentioned air glow, but did you learn air glow from me? If so, say no. If you don't know what it is, say no. And if you do know what it is and you didn't hear it from me, then please tell me in the chat. Because I just covered this one. I just covered this on Saturday. So it's all fresh in everyone's mind. Jency says no. Michael Russum says no. And Jency says, if you Google, Santa won't visit you this Christmas. Thank you, Jency. JRG Mighty is no.
Welcome, Michael Russum. And I forgot, welcome Super Mario Brothers as well. And I forgot Boston Ray was in the chat earlier as well.
I did say it when you said Mr. Super Sidewinder. I said I had Boston Ray.
Okay.
I did. Okay, we can go on. I think they're just abstaining from answering because they know.
You guys, apparently we have colorful, sometimes tie-dyed rainbow skies every single night and just don't know it. Air glow is only visible in places that have near absolute darkness. While it's more common to see one or two colors, there have been photos taken that show every color of the rainbow in the craziest patterns.
Can you read that little section in the red, please? Go back and read that little section in the red.
I can't read that.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Air glow is a soft, continuous light emission from the Earth's atmosphere, visible worldwide every night.
Worldwide every night. No matter where you are, every single night there's air glow. Which I cannot believe. So, go on.
Aurora or air glow. Air glow is not an aurora. It is caused by the atoms in our atmosphere. When they get excited, charged, they have to release that energy. So they release that energy in the form of light.
Propagate, have you ever heard of this?
I never heard of air glow. I missed that broadcast. I never heard of this.
Yeah, me I've never heard of this at all. All right,
New York City's invisible air glow comes alive in infrared. This phenomenon has been known about for decades. They claim that it can be seen in cities, but it's still there every night. They also claim it is visible in infrared. That's New York City above. The cloud-looking things are the air glow.
So that image is the exact same image, first taken with the regular camera, and the second one, the same image taken right after with infrared. Those cloud things are not clouds, they are air glow. Those are the color wisps that can't be seen in New York. There's too much noise, light pollution, not noise. So if our sky, they're saying that if our skies were dark, they're saying, let me rephrase, that before we had lights, so like, you know, the Romans, the people who settled in America, the Native Americans, the cavemen, their skies were rainbow all the time. And now the screen, the painting the screen makes sense. I can't. This is a mess. Come on.
But it gets even crazier. This is going to upset some people. Just take it as this is proof it's a Mandela, because you know this is crazy. They claim that it's visible from space on Earth and Mars. LOL, I can't.
So Earth usually has a red band and Mars usually has a green band, but they can see all different types of colors. But they're saying air glow is visible on planets from space. I call BS. That's it. I just want good.
How to photograph infralucent clouds. Oh yeah, and a new cloud type, infralucent clouds of colors rarely seen with the naked eye and always seen with an infrared camera.
So have you ever heard of infralucent clouds? Not noctilucent, which are the rainbow clouds we can see. Infralucent, which are clouds that can only be seen in infrared or when there's like no light, a super dark night. I've never heard of an infralucent cloud before.
Never that. Me neither.
Now, I went from least crazy to most crazy in air glow photos. So this is the least crazy. Now, I also want to point out, in my past, like when I took photography class, infrared photos were black and white. I believe these are colorized, but maybe there's been advancements in film or digital, I don't know. But I'm seeing a lot of infrared with blue and pink in it. So that middle one on the left, that's infrared with blue trees. So I believe it's colorized. But these are all examples of mild air glow. Anything you see as clouds are air glow, not clouds, except for the Milky Way.
So these are the ones that show up at night that you can't really see unless you have infrared, and the infrared is showing them as color like that. Is that
No,
what you're saying?
infrared shows them as black and white wisps of clouds, or just see that infrared image. It's like a white glow behind the trees. So that's an infrared. You can see them with the naked eye and take photos in color in very dark areas. So the ones you see in color are in very dark areas. Just regular photos. You can see that with the naked eye. All right, Jeff,
Okay.
let's move on to the crazier ones. So rainbow tie-dyed skies, everyone. Rainbow tie-dyed skies. I do not recall this being our reality. I don't remember anything in books and history saying we had rainbow tie-dyed skies. I don't remember them saying the night sky was rainbow. I do recall a couple instances of historical writings where they'd say the sky was glowing red, and they assumed it was aurora borealis. Well, now I'm going to say it was air glow because that makes more sense, because it's every single night all over the world, every night, which is ridiculous to me. I've never heard of it.
Thank you, Michael Russum, for wishing me a happy birthday.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Yes, those of you just joining us, Jeff's birthday started at midnight. Now, they said that now the bottom right is the curled aurora, but the one on the middle right, they are saying is air glow, and it's the like more by the shape. If it covers the whole sky, you know what I think it is? I think that's a mix of the two. I think that's aurora with air glow. I think the red part in the background is the air glow, and the green is the aurora borealis. Okay, Jeff, I saved the best for last. After you read the last one, though, can you zoom in on the picture?
Yeah.
After you read the last one. So here's some more images of air glow and infrared. And this image shows air glow on the right and aurora on the left from space, so you can see the difference. No, Jeff. Alright, this is just showing the spectrum of color you can see. It's really technical. I just included it in case anyone wants to go on Flickr and read it. You can go on. And then I found it interesting that this word I'd never heard of was everywhere on the internet. I mean, books, videos, like Earth's multicolored glow. Air glow is an indicator of upper atmospheric structure and dynamics. Experiments NASA is doing supposedly because of like using air glow. It's everywhere. Air glow is everywhere, and it was not my reality. It wasn't, 100%.
How did you find this whole topic, air glow?
I was researching the aurora borealis, the curled aurora borealis. I was looking to see if there were more images, and I came across air glow.
Okay.
That's how.
All right. Air glow over, is that Dordogne?
That's probably better than I would have pronounced it. Yes.
Let's go with that. Dordogne, France. Is air glow new for you? Crimped auroras. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
So this is true tie-dye. This is air glow. It looks like tie-dye. Can we all see the image? Can you zoom in, Jeff? Like that is rainbow tie-dye. I can't. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Now, Prop, before we go, is there any Mandelas you may have missed that you want to look at?
No, not at this time.
All right, Jeff, is there anything you want to see you missed? I mean, you're in Flickr, you can see.
No, not that I can think of.
Okay, guys. Well, I want to thank our guest for being so awesome to answer all those questions and for being with us so long. And I want to thank Jeff for presenting. I want to thank all of you for being here. I especially want to thank, wait a minute, I just got to, okay, I hit the wrong thing, excuse me. I also want to thank Bellator Cenix again for the $2 donation. Again, the fundraiser is still going on. All links are in the description. I know a lot of people don't like donating through GoFundMe, so there's other options. But if you can, please share it. Please donate if you can. Landlord is already bugging me. Every 2 weeks like clockwork, it starts bugging me. And I am also going to add Propagate's second channel. And do you mind if I link your song in the description?
Not at this time. I'm going to go ahead and add some cover art to it. I'm working on it now. Then I'll send it to you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, when it's ready, let me know, and I'll add it to the description as well. So,
okay.
But for now, I will add your second channel. And with that, guys, I guess we're going to see you Saturday. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you again for being here. And thank you again, Prop and Jeff. Have a good night, everyone.
Appreciate it. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
I guess I'm going to do the, oh, he's already out. I didn't get to the outro. Guess we're going to do the regular one. Good night, guys.
Smash the tube, smash the tube, smash the tube, smash the tube. Turn the strap off, 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 please turn it off. Why must we watch Friends? 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 I've seen this show about 1,000,000 times. Not even funny when I'm drunk or high. Why must we watch Friends? 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 I'm telling you now for the 100th time. To change the channel, this show is a crime. Why must we watch Friends? 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 That laugh track is so annoying to me. They wouldn't need it if the show was funny. Why must we watch Friends? 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 There's so much better ways to spend my day than watch TV sing down a cat so smelly. Why must we watch Friends? 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 Why must we watch Friends?